Get in! Finally found the perfect sofa. A massaging, reclining, pink chaise longue. What a win. Only thing is, I haven't shopped on this site before.
Maybe use PayPal. It could help you feel secure, knowing your card and bank information is safely stored.
Oh, good call. Looks like I'm sitting pretty. Wait.
Really? You're better than that. Don't just pay. PayPal.
Oh, Jamie's got a new car. He only passed his test last week. Chloe and the kids on the school run in their new hybrid, and the Flemings from 23 off to see their daughter at uni. Get car and van insurance that's right up your street at parkerscompare.com. Created by the experts at Parkers, we're 100% independent and dedicated to helping you find the right insurance policy. Quick and easy, you could compare quotes in just 5 minutes from some of the UK's leading providers. For car insurance comparisons you can trust, visit parkerscompare.com. Authorised and regulated by the Financial Conduct Authority. See website for details.
The Clyde One Super Scoreboard Podcast with Lookers Group. Extra 12 months warranty and RAC breakdown cover on every used vehicle. Terms and conditions and exclusions apply. Action as it happens. And your reaction from 5 on the open line. This is Clyde One Super Scoreboard.
Good afternoon and welcome to Clyde One Super Scoreboard for the latest round of festive fixtures. Rangers are on the road again, looking to bounce back from Paisley disappointment when they head to Motherwell. Celtic are looking to maintain or build on their 12-point lead at the top when they host St Johnstone. You've got St Mirren v Dundee, Hibs against Kelly, Ross County Hearts and Dundee United Aberdeen still to come a bit later on this evening. I'm Gordon Duncan, and joining me you have Gordon Dalziel, Mark Wilson and Hugh Keevins.
A Sunday of simultaneous excitement. Not often you get Celtic and Rangers playing at the same time of day, so the crowd at Celtic Park will be watching their own team's game and listening out to see what's going on when Rangers go to Fir Park. Philippe Clement is walking a tightrope. If he leaves anything behind in North Lanarkshire, he moves himself closer to the exit door at Ibrox. And what about this for a scary one? Hearts have won 1 of 9 away games this season. Just 1. If they lose to Ross County in the Highlands today, they'll be 5 points behind Don Cowie's team, and at that point it really is officially scary for the Jam Tarts.
What a day we've got. 6 fixtures and right up until Dundee United against Aberdeen, but fantastic games in there. Teams selection, probably one eye on the other fixtures just around the corner, but looking forward to today.
A big couple of days coming up, obviously, for that league table, top and bottom. A lot of important games, as the boys said there. But the one thing we'll get today, 29th of Sunday, plenty of action and plenty of drama.
Yes, strap yourselves in. You can tweet us all afternoon at Clyde SSB, of course. We'll have the opportunity to hear from you on the phones when it's all said and done. But before that, so much good football to get stuck into. Stories everywhere you look. And the next round of fixtures, as Hugh Keevins alluded to, just around the corner as well. So let's go firstly to Celtic Park. Celtic against St Johnstone. Gabriel has the teams.
Yes, Gordon, good afternoon from Celtic Park. It's top v bottom here in the Premiership. Celtic 12 points clear. They know they'll have the opportunity to extend that lead to at least 15 points when they meet Rangers next week, as long as they overcome the Saints today. And what a statement that would be at the start of the new year. Brendan Rodgers makes 5 changes to the team that beat Motherwell 4-0. A rare rest for captain Callum McGregor. He drops to the bench alongside Tony Ralston, Greg Taylor, Adam Eder and Dyson Maeda. Celtic fans will be pleased to see Nicholas Kuhn to return to the starting lineup. He's in alongside Alison Johnson, Alex Baye, Reo Hatate and Kyogo. So it's Kasper Schmeichel in goal, a defensive Alistair Johnson, Cameron Carter-Vickers, Liam Scales and Alex Baye. Arne Engels, Paolo Bernardo and Reo Hatate will be the midfield 3. Nicholas Kuhn and Yang are out wide, with Kyogo through the middle. Substitutes Sinisalo, Trusty, Taylor, Palmer, Ida, McCowan, Maeda, McGregor and Ralston. Well, St Johnstone come here with that 2-game winning run that coincided with Simo Valakari's arrival, now a distant memory. They've lost 7 of their last 9. Parkhead is not the place you want to be when you're in that kind of form. Valakari makes 5 changes as well to that 2-1 loss to Dundee United the other day. Kelchins, Wright, Carey, Holt and Kimpioka are all out. Essel Smith, Franchak, Raymond, Clark are all in. So it will be a back three. Josh Ray in goal with Jack Sanders, Boza Mikulic and Kyle Cameron in front of him. Fran Franchak and Andre Raymond, the wing-backs. Aaron Essel, Matt Smith and Sven Sprangler in the middle of the park. And Nicky Clark captains the side. He'll support Mackenzie Kirk up top, who has 4 goals in his last 6. Substitutes: Sinclair, Nielsen, Holt, Carey, Wright, Sidibe, Kukurevi, Kimpioka and Kelchens. The referee is Matthew McDermott, and on VAR, David Dickinson.
Mark Wilson, you could almost predict who Celtic are playing next. Imagine you didn't know the fixture list, but you saw that Callum McGregor was fit and available, but just on the bench. You'd have a fair idea as to what type of fixture was round the corner.
Well, he certainly plays a lot of games every season. He's played 25 times up until now, but I think it'd be unrealistic to see him play all the games in this period. He is so important for Celtic, even when they're under par. He's a man that can drag them through. And in terms of goal scoring as well, he's got 6 this season. But there is a bigger game just round the corner, and I think when you've got the luxury of having Hatate, Engels and Bernardo all scrapping out for those midfield places, you can afford to withdraw them. But plenty in reserve if Celtic don't have enough in the day, but that team certainly should have enough. Interesting to see Yang keeping his place in there. Brendan Rodgers persevering with him. I know one man not too far from me who disagrees with the Celtic manager,
who the founder of the Yang Supporters Club.
I'll keep this jocular, I'll keep it seasonally happy, and I'll simply say I would get a game before Yang.
Incredible, isn't it? Absolutely incredible. Listen, yeah, it's a big day for him. He didn't have his best game the other week there as Hugh. It was Thursday. Yeah, I've lost all track of time.
Other week is quite a statement,
as everybody has, Gordon, with the festive season. But look, I think there's still something there. I think given a run of games, this is now another game into that. He's got to step up. He's got to show something. And let's be honest, you're playing the bottom of the league. They've lost 36 goals. They can't buy a win. This is the day, surely, for Yang.
Well, you've also got to get back to the McGregor situation and say, when you take the captain out of the equation, do you take leadership with him? Or can you rely on Alistair Johnston, who's always vocal, Cameron Carter-Vickers, who leads by example, and in the middle of the park, you know, Engels, Bernardo, Hatate, they've got to assert themselves, minus McGregor. And you know what you said, Gordon, at the start of that discussion, that he's been left out with Ibrox in mind. Of course he has, but he'll be there in case anything goes wrong. And the only thing that St Johnstone have going for them today, apart from Mackenzie Kirk and his goals, is that no one, absolutely no one, has any expectation of St Johnstone doing anything at Celtic Park, and that's where the worry comes in.
That is the luxury of the way the fixtures have fallen, though, Mark. Let's acknowledge shocks can happen. It would be crazy of us to write off St Johnstone and say there's absolutely no chance of it. But clearly, if you want to hand-pick a fixture before you go to Ibrox, it's a home game against the team bottom of the league. If Celtic were going to Pittodrie today, Callum McGregor probably plays.
Of course, and I think it affects what Brendan Rodgers did in the game before as well against Motherwell. He's rotated well, but this one certainly, even if this was at McDermott Park, I think you'd still see Callum McGregor in that side. But he understands that, you know, he's got enough quality there. A wee bit surprised maybe Luke McCown wasn't thought of in terms of replacing McGregor, but it shows what he thinks of Engels. Engels got man of the match, the stadium man of the match the other day. I think it'd be wrong to withdraw him, but they have got plenty in that area, and it's a welcome rest, I think, for McGregor today.
Honestly, I take on board the importance of Callum McGregor of Celtic, but I think we're building this up a bit much. You're at Celtic Park, have a look at the middle of the park. It's fully quality. Have a look at the team, fully quality. They're playing the bottom of the league, St Johnstone. I touched on it earlier, 36 goals. Do they really need Callum McGregor?
Let's go to Fir Park, because that's got a lot of intrigue surrounding that one. Motherwell against Rangers, and some really interesting team news there from Andrew McLean.
Yeah, a lot riding on this one, and as you say, some big team news. We'll get to that shortly, but Rangers, you would say, the perfect example at the moment, really, of just how fickle football is. Many fans have been feeling optimistic in recent weeks with some of the displays they were seeing, some of the results they were getting, some of the individual performances. Things appeared to be going in an upwards trajectory, but the feeling now is that all of that has been undone. That damning defeat to St Mirren on Boxing Day has left supporters angry, they're frustrated, and once again it raises many of the questions that they've been asking for the last few months. Now 12 points behind Celtic. Where do this team go from here? What's next for Philippe Clement. All they know is that a victory is absolutely vital today ahead of hosting Celtic on Thursday at Ibrox, up against a Motherwell side who saw the teams around them on Boxing Day get victories. It is all really tight in there at the moment, but they don't want to continue to lose ground as they keep up that hunt for the European places. As for Motherwell, a 4-0 defeat for them on Boxing Day. They've made 3 changes to that team that played against Celtic. Balmer, Sparrow and Watt drop out, Gordon Halliday and Stamatolopoulos in. So it's Aston Oxborough in goal, the back 5, Marvin Coletta, Dan Casey, Liam Gordon, Shane Blaney and Ewan Wilson. The midfield 3, Harry Payton, Andy Halliday and Lennon Miller. Tawanda Maswanise is supporting Apostolos Stamatolopoulos up top. The substitutes: Heggie, O'Donnell, Balmer, Drabkovsky, Sparrow, McGinn, Nicholson, Ibiye and Watt. And what about this for a Rangers team? 7 changes Philippe Clement has made for this one today. I'm sure it'll be a mixture of 2 things: the performance that he saw from his players the other day and the fact that they've got that massive game against Celtic on Thursday. But this one is a must win as well. Out go Balogun, Jefty, Barron, Hadji, Cherny, Barami and Igaman. In come Proper, Yilmaz, Raskin, Dowell, Danilo, Dessers and Oscar Cortez, who comes out with a cold really. He's been injured for a long time, but straight back in to the starting lineup. So it's Jack Butland in goal for them today. The back 4, James Tavernier, Robin Proper, Dujon Sterling and Ridvan Yilmaz. Nicholas Raskin and Mohamed Diamande, the 2 holding midfielders. Kieran Dowell, Danilo and Oscar Cortez in behind the lone striker Cyril Dessers. The substitutes: Kelly, Barron, Barami, Matondo, Cherny, Jefty, Egaman, King and McCausland. The referee for this one at Fir Park is Kevin Clancy. The VAR is Stephen McLean.
You can only get so worked up about these things before a game, Gordon, because that Rangers team might go and win 4-0. Everything might be rosy come the end of the day, and Philippe Clement looks like a very clever man. We have to leave that possibility open. However, a quick glance at social media tells you that Rangers fans are extremely surprised. Let's go for that. Extremely surprised at that lineup today.
Yeah, he came out and said on Thursday against St Mirren he could have made 9 changes. He's made 7 this afternoon. I look at that Rangers team. It's up to those players. There's a massive game coming on the 2nd of January. It's up to them to stake a claim, because you could not be happy as a Rangers manager with the performance, especially at first half in Paisley, and end up losing the game. So he's thrown it out there. Yes, I think Tierney and guys like that may come in against Celtic. He'll probably, like Celtic with Cal McGregor, have one eye on the fixture. Of course they do. My big concern for Rangers just now, going through this fixture list, is the 2 centre-halves. You're now left with Sterling and Proper. Balogun looks like he's going to miss it. Suter, who I think would be your 2 centre-backs on that day come the 2nd of January. So it's a big day for them. Get used to each other, get working together, try and get a clean sheet, try and be positive. I think this is a big day for Rangers. No, Hugh touched on it, the pressure that the Rangers managers come under. I think he cannot afford to go down here at Fir Park this afternoon and lose this game.
You said earlier, Gordon, that if Celtic could have hand-picked a fixture today, it would have been St Johnstone at home. Fair enough. But Rangers, it doesn't matter who they're playing today. They're under pressure after losing at St Mirren. And not to play Cherny and Hadji must be among the reasons why social media has gone into meltdown. But on the other hand, Dessers in there, and he's still the top goal scorer in the league for Rangers. So his selection, come into it how you will, his selection is justified.
The reasons for it are clear, Mark. It doesn't mean that it is correct in the eyes of everyone, and we don't know how it will play out. But again, it's obviously with that round the corner. Cherny will play against Rangers. Hadji will probably play against Rangers. Oscar Cortez is an example. Is a really against Celtic. Oscar Cortez is such an interesting example, Mark. He has played 3 times this season, not since the 21st of September, a League Cup game against Dundee, where he came on for the last 15 minutes or so. As far as I can gather, he got 45 minutes in the B team in that game against Celtic that we watched actually live on the show one night. That's it. It's quite there's cold storage and then there's that.
I've got to say I'm surprised, because I think Philippe Clement finds himself in a much different position than Brendan Rodgers is, in terms of quality coming in the team, but in terms of the position he's in as a manager. That says I don't think he can afford to lose today. And when you're picking a team to prolong your Rangers career, I don't think many would have picked those in the wide area. Cortez one side and Dowell, who just makes appearances out of nowhere. Really surprised. Danilo and Dessers I can get, because you've seen bits of quality in those. I thought it was a risk the other day leaving Raskin on the bench. I said that before kick-off here. He's back in the side, but again, sometimes you need to focus on what's in front of you rather than what's around the corner. And we all get the Celtic game's a huge one, but what if Motherwell beat Rangers today? Philippe Clement still going to be about for the Celtic game? I know it comes round quick, but stranger things have happened in football.
Well, it's a simple equation. If he wins the game, he made the right call. In all respects, he made the right call. If he loses the game, he compounds the felony of people who say chopping, changing. And they look at the recent record. A caller to Super Scoreboard on Friday put it perfectly, I think. When he spoke of the 4 league games that Rangers had won. They won 4 league games on the bounce against 4 teams who were in the bottom 6. And as the caller put it, that's the minimum requirement for Rangers. But today, Motherwell, top 6, it is imperative.
But you just can't keep going with his strongest squad, his strongest 11, Hugh. Sorry. He's got a squad there for a reason. And the reason is this run of fixtures. There's a lot of games, a lot of fixtures. You've got to trust them somewhere along the line. You said it earlier. Dessers comes into centre forward, right? He's our top goal scorer. So, where's the argument there?
I concentrate, and I have done a lot of this season, on his back line again and how he's chopped and changed that. Now, we all know injury problems, no choice, but he's got a choice in the left back area. And he's chosen to change that position. So, going into the Celtic game, who's your best left back? What I mean is there is no consistency, even when he's got players who are fit and able to continue with their place in the side. Look, time will tell if it's the right decision, but if you chop and change your team every single week, you lack consistency, and it's been proven from summer to now that's been the case.
Confidence is low among the fans. St Mirren was a dreadful setback for them as it was for Clement. If any further damage was to be done today prior to the Celtic game, it would be catastrophic for the Rangers supporters, and that's why I say he doesn't have Brendan Rodgers' luxury of saying, well, I'll leave out Cal McGregor. He doesn't have any luxuries at all. He's got to negotiate this game, or else he's in deep, deep trouble.
And for Motherwell, Gordon, they in a way had one eye on this game when they went to Celtic Park. Obviously a colleague of ours at the ripe old age of early 30s, Andy Halliday, was never going to play the 3 games in a week, so he sits out the Celtic one, comes into this, and there's clearly much more of an onus there to go and do something a bit more proactive when you're at home than you would have done at Celtic Park.
Yeah, Andy deserves his game here today, because Kettlewell will look at Andy causing problems going forward. We've seen that in the semi-final when he got on the end of a cross and got out the first goal. I think if you're Motherwell this afternoon, look, they've had a real if you look at the Christmas fixtures for them, Celtic at Celtic Park, Rangers, and I think it's Hearts next as well. I know Hearts are down the bottom of the league, but still got a very strong squad. So it's 3 very difficult games. If I'm Stuart Kettlewell today, I'm looking at, especially after Thursday, I'm looking at the amount of changes there that Rangers have got. I'm looking at the back 2, and I'm thinking, my best chance is to go on the front foot here and really have a go at Rangers.
OK, that's you got the team news from Fir Park and Celtic Park. Clearly both teams with an eye on the 2nd of January in different ways, and it's going to be a fascinating afternoon. We'll get the rest of the team news from around the grounds next.
Get in! Finally found the perfect sofa. A massaging, reclining, pink chaise long. What a win. Only thing is, I haven't shopped on this site before.
Maybe use PayPal. It could help you feel secure, knowing your card and bank information is safely stored.
Oh, good call. Looks like I'm sitting pretty. Wait.
Really? You're better than that. Don't just pay. PayPal.
Get in pole position for cheaper van insurance. With mustard.co.uk. With top insurance providers, a 5-minute pit stop with us could get you out in front in the race to savings. See what you could save and compare your van insurance today with mustard.co.uk. T's and C's apply. Authorised and regulated by the Financial Conduct Authority.
as it happens. And your reaction from 5 on the open line. This is Clyde One Super Scoreboard.
Hugh Keevins, Mark Wilson and Gordon Dalziel are here. A festive football feast for you this Sunday, apparently. I'm reliably informed it's Sunday, but we are here until 6 o'clock. We've given you team news, some quite dramatic team news from Celtic Park and Fir Park. Let's go round the 3 remaining 3 o'clock games. David Friel has an eye on St Mirren Dundee.
Yeah, Gordon, and it feels as if St Mirren's Boxing Day celebrations are just about dying down after that dramatic Caelan Boyd month's winner against Rangers, but I think Stephen Robinson wants it to move on quickly. He wants his players to back up that brilliant performance against Rangers against Dundee today and make it 4 wins in a row. St Mirren sitting 5th at the moment. They're actually a point better off than they were at the halfway stage last season when they ended up qualifying for Europe. That surprised me actually, but it is testament to the job that Stephen Robinson's doing in Paisley. They've had so many off-field issues to contend with this season, along with injuries, but St Mirren are on course for a top 6 finish again. As for Dundee, they battled them all the way for a European place last season, but have been so inconsistent this season. Tony Docherty's side are capable of big wins, big performances, but they come into this one off the back of 3 successive defeats. They lost 3-0 to Ross County on Boxing Day. I don't think anybody saw that coming, and that was a real low point of the season. I think Dundee will still be looking up the table at this stage, but they're only 5 points off bottom spot now. They need to do, they really need to stop this losing run. The guys will be doing their predictions soon, I'm sure. Just 1 clean sheet in the last 21 games, and Dundee have kept 1 clean sheet in the last 20. There was a 2-2 draw between the teams back at Dens in August, and I think something similar wouldn't surprise me today. As for the team, just 1 change for St Mirren. Alex Iacoviti is in for Richard Taylor, so that means no place from the start for Caelan Boyd Munce. It's going to be a 3-4-2-1 formation. Ellie Balcom in goals, Marcus Fraser, Alec Gogic, Alec Iacoviti at the back, Elvis Bomono, Killian Phillips, Ocean Smith and Declan John are the 4 across the middle, with Roland Idubu and Greg Kelty in behind Toyosi Olisanya. Subs for St Mirren are Urminski, Penman, Taylor, Adeniran, Caelan Boyd Munce, Scott Mooney, Ayunga and Mandron. As for Dundee, 2 changes for them. Finn Robertson and Seb Palmer holding are in, Antonio Portales and Scott Tiffany are out. Looks like a 4-3-3 formation. Trevor Carson in goals, Josh Mulligan, Ryan Astley, Billy Cometio and Jordan McGee at the back. Finn Robertson, Mo Silla and Lyle Cameron in midfield, with Sion Adamumi and Seb Palmer holding beside Simon Murray in attack. Subs for Dundee are McCracken, Sharp, Ingram, Tiffany, Main, Kelly, Braybrook and Vetro. The referee at the Smize is Nick Walsh, and the VAR is one Alan Muir.
Have a quiet afternoon, no doubt. Never does anything to cause any drama or controversy on this show.
Not at all.
Let's go from Paisley to the capital. Hibs are on the up. Kilmarnock doing not too badly. Fraser Wishart's there as well.
Yeah, as you're suggesting there, Gordon, it's amazing the difference a month can make in the Scottish Premiership. Here we are, the last game of 2024, and both these teams are chasing top 6 in pretty good form. But only a few weeks ago, Hibs had lost 3-0 to Celtic, bottom of the table. Kilmarnock on the back of a 6-0 hammering at Ibrox and just above them, but both have turned results around, and Hibs are looking at finishing the year off with a 4th win in a row, and Kelly on the back of 2 wins and 2 draws, culminating that fine 4-0 win against Aberdeen on Thursday. But it was a big change of form. Has been down to the goal threat they now have. Apart from that defeat at Celtic Park, and they had chances there, Hibs have scored 14 goals in the other 5 games, scoring 3 on 4 separate occasions. So plenty of goals there. David Gray changed the team around. Boyle and Ewan up front using their pace, which gives defences problems. But a big blow for Hibs today is that the man in such good form, Ellie Ewan, is unfit for today's game. But they've also been able to push the Cadden twins forward. Nicky has responded with goals and assists, but Kelly have also rediscovered their form and their goal threat. They did have injuries to key players. When you're a smaller club, you have key players like Finlay and Dees and Matty Kennedy are so key to how they play. They've been out injured, but Dan Armstrong, linked with Hearts and Days Papers, and Fraser Murray, the ex-Hibs player in the wide areas, they've been providing the ammunition, and they'll create chances today, I'm sure. I'm really looking forward to this game. I don't want to jinx it, but I think there will be goals. I just hope the strong wind that's affecting everybody doesn't spoil the game or affect the outcome, because I think there's an exciting 90 minutes ahead at Easter Road. 2 changes from Hibs from that Derby win. Lewis Miller comes in for Warner Hora. He replaced him in the last couple of games, gives a bit of pace at the back. And I said Ellie Ewan drops out through injury, and it's Junior Hoylett that's been chosen rather than the Derby match winner Dwight Gale to partner Martin Boyle up front in a 3-4-1-2 formation. Jordan Smith in goals, Lewis Miller, Rocky Bashiri and Jack Iredale at the back, Chris Cadden, Nectarius Triantis, Joe Newell and Nicky Cadden across the midfield, with Josh Campbell behind the 2 strikers, Martin Boyle and Junior Hoylett. The subs for Hibs: Joseph Bursick, Warner Hora, Dylan Levitt, Luke Amos course, Harry McCurdy, Kwon, Jordan Obita, Nathan Mariah Welsh and Dwight Gale. Maybe not a surprise that Killie are unchanged from that 4-0 win against Aberdeen. 4-4-2 they go, with Robbie McCrory in goals, Brad Lyons, Lewis Mayo, Joe Wright and Corey Ndaba at the back, Danny Armstrong, David Watson, Liam Polworth and Fraser Murray across the middle, with Bobby Wales and Kyle Vassell as the strikers. Their subs: Kieran O'Hara, Jack Burrows, Robbie Dees, Rory McKenzie, Gary Mackay, Stephen, Kyle McGuinness, Innes Cameron, Bruce Anderson and Liam Donnelly. And the referee today is a new one to me, Dan McFarlane, and the VAR, the very experienced Andrew Dallas.
Looking forward to that one. Come on then, the big question on everybody's lips at the end of the calendar year: Ross County against Hearts. Dave Galloway, did you go to Wimpy and Dingwall?
Yes, my first one this season.
No way.
And it was yes, absolutely.
They've been worried about you.
I know they were worried. They were way to close, but they said they would keep themselves open just for me. I'm helping to bankroll them.
You are the only person who still goes, so it doesn't sound surprising. What are you looking forward to on the pitch? What does the team news look like?
Well, Gordon, Ross County on a high after an impressive Boxing Day victory at Dundee, their first away league win for 15 months now. That saw them leapfrog Hearts and into 10th place, but that is of course away now. That's gone, and the challenge is to show it wasn't a one-off and build momentum. Today's visitors, of course, as we've discussed already, they don't have the problems to seek as they remain near the foot of the Premiership. Many have predicted the Jam Tarts would start to climb the table and kick on, but there's no sign of that happening at the minute. Pressure is building and Lawrence Shankland's frank assessment following defeat in the Edinburgh Derby that they're not exactly a brilliant team said a lot. They were booed off the pitch after losing at home to Hibs, and the away support here, and there will be plenty of them, packing the goal to my left, the end behind the goal to my left, and the stand opposite. There could be a couple of thousand of them here by the looks of things. The away support here, they won't be slow to make their feelings known if things are not going well on the pitch. Looking at the teams then, just the one change for Ross County. Nisbet is in for Denham, so it's Jordan Amisa in goals. A back three of Akil Wright, Kasper Lopata and Ryan Leake. Midfield, Miche Ifeti, Josh Nisbet, Jack Greaves, Connor Randall and George Harmon, with no Chilvers playing off Ronan Hale. The subs for the Staggies: Hamilton, Brown, Lamy, Allardyce, Loturi, Telfer, White, Brophy and Reid. As for Hearts, interesting team news for them. 3 changes. Grant, Boyce and Forrester are in. Outdrop Halkett, Devlin and Shankland. Now, I am told Shankland's absence is due to a calf issue. Craig Gordon is in goals then for the Jambos. It's a back four of Dan Oyegoke, Adam Forrester, Kai Rolls, James Penrice. The sitters: George Grant and Benny Beningame. Further forward, Musa Drame, Liam Boyce and Blair Spittle, with young James Wilson leading the line. The subs for Hearts: Clark, Halkett, Oda, Forrest, Boateng, Danda, Tate, Vargas and Osorio. Match referee here in Dingwall is Ross Hardy, and on VAR duties is Gavin Duncan.
That is you up to speed. Ahead of the 3 o'clock game, still Dundee United against Aberdeen to come a bit later on, and that's an absolute cracker in its own right as well. But let's keep the focus on the 3 o'clock matches. David Friel, just how much is there a feel-good factor around Paisley after that win against Rangers a few days ago?
There's a huge feel-good factor. I mean, as soon as you come in, guys were standing about, still talking about the game, still talking about Caelan Boyd Munce's winner. And, you know, I think it's just the togetherness you feel at St Mirren in every way, shines through. And as I was saying earlier on, Gordon, I just think they've been through so much this season in terms of off-field stuff that we won't get into, but also injuries, also suspensions, and maybe guys not really clicking. I remember a couple of months ago, Stephen Robinson had a go at some of the new players, so maybe not, matching the intensity he wanted to, but they've gone in this run, really good winning run, and I think he's got them back to their best. He signs really, really well. For me, Stephen Robinson signs guys that fit in his system and his style, but he'll also want them to back up that big win against Dundee today. There's no point in beating Rangers against all the odds on Boxing Day and then faltering today, and he will still look at Dundee as a direct rival for that top 6 place, Stephen Robinson, so I think he'll want to go all out and get the win today.
Yeah, really looking forward to that. Dundee, David, I wonder, we're starting to look at that league table, assess whether it is taking shape or not? Should they be concerned at the way things are?
Probably, yeah. I mean, I think if you've played 18 games and lost 9 of them, they've only got 5 wins all season. But for me, it's a goals against column that should be a real worry. They've lost 33 goals, and I don't think it was any surprise that they recalled Luke Graham from Falkirk the other day. You know, shipping goals left, right and centre. That's only left with 2 real centre halves today in Kemetio and Ryan Astley. Portales is out, he's completely out of the squad. Don't know what's up with him today. I just think they're struggling in that department. Tony Dockett, they've got so many goals in their team. Like Lyle Cameron's a really good player. I like Simon Murray, Scott Tiffany, guys like that. You know, Adam Umi's been brilliant since he came in loan. I just think at the back they're really struggling. They've chopped and changed their goalkeepers as well, which we've spoken about so many times in the past. Gordon, it's never a good sign. Trevor Carson just now, but it's been John McCracken. I think Tony Dockett, as I said, he will still be looking up and feeling they can push their top 6, but Dundee need to stop this rot and need to start getting back to keeping the door shut at the back.
In terms of your situation regarding the home side, Fraser, it's incredible to think the way things have turned round. I know you spoke about it for Hibs, but also with that, you know, remember the statement, the so-called vote of confidence, and everyone's so cynical. We always think that once that comes, it's still a matter of time for David Gray to lose his job. And I suppose he still might have if results hadn't perked up, but that must be starting to feel like a bit of a distant memory for these Hibs fans.
Yeah, and I think sometimes fans do jump on the back of a manager, jump on the back of the board, and fair play to the Hibs board, who've been much criticised in recent years for sticking by David Gray. The performances weren't that bad. If you think back to sort of September, October, even into November, the number of late goals that Hibs lost was unbelievable. They were playing some decent stuff, still scoring goals, but they really just couldn't keep the ball out. And there was a nervousness when it came to the last 5 minutes into stoppage time even, the number of goals they lost. And even just football just changes quickly. I was here a fortnight ago. They were playing Ross County at home. They were a goal down at half time, looking that way. Dwight Gale just scores right on at the 50th minute in stoppage time, and they were really poor, Hibs. And I don't know if Dwight Gale hadn't scored that goal, would they have got back into the game? Would David Gray have survived? So fine margins you have in football, but fair play to him. He's changed the formation. He's gone with 3 at the back. He's got a bit more pace in there, and he's actually looking to get 2, maybe 3 forward players as well. And he's getting the best out of Martin Boyle, playing him through the middle where his form was poor, playing wide as well. So you've got to give the management credit, but football's a strange game. I mean, Hibs could then go on a 3 or 4 game losing run. That's the way it is in the Scottish Premiership.
Yeah, that is the case. I mean, you look at Aberdeen, for example. They haven't won any of their last 7 games, and they're still third. What does that say about the rest of the Premiership? But you know, anything could happen at Easter Road. Hibs on the back of the Edinburgh Derby win over Hearts. Kilmarnock off the back of a 4-0 destruction of Aberdeen, and Aberdeen got off lightly at 4. So anything could happen in that game.
Just to reflect on Dave Galloway's team news, no Lawrence Shankland. If you're cynical about these things, you say, well, he's not scoring any goals. Is that still considered a big blow? But he's still the captain. He would still play if he was fit. There are not a load of other players that are stepping up to the plate either. So what do you make of his absence today?
In a game of this importance, I would rather go with him in my team than not, obviously. I still think he brings a lot. I think his link-up play we've highlighted is still very good. He's a captain, he's a leader, he can get you goals. He started scoring a couple now and again. I think that's a massive game for Hearts today. And if you're Ross County at home, I keep saying it, every time Ross County plays, you never know what team is going to turn up. If Ross County turn up the way they can do, especially at home, Hearts could be in bother.
If they win, if Ross County win, all pretence is over and done with. They would go 5 points clear of Hearts. Hearts would be second bottom of the table. I am assuming that Celtic beat St Johnstone and St Johnstone remain bottom. But at that point, Lawrence Shankland pointed out that the squad might look good on paper, but they're not a good team. And if they lose there today, big trouble.
Looking forward to those 3 games: St Mirren, Dundee, Hibs, Killie, Ross County, Hearts. We'll get all the guys involved and build up to the games involving Celtic and Rangers when we return.
This is Clyde One Super Scoreboard. Every night from 6 till 8. The team with the biggest support in Glasgow and the West. This is Clyde One Super Scoreboard.
Just over 15 minutes to kick off in the 3 o'clock games. What a luxury this is. It's at that lull in between Christmas and New Year. We've got 5 big games at 3 o'clock. How often do we get the big 2 in Glasgow all playing at the same time as well? Really fascinating stuff. Let's go back to Fir Park for Motherwell Rangers. So much debate about the team news. Andrew McLean. And it now looks like Philippe Clement, speaking to Rangers TV, has said that Yanis Hadji has some sort of illness or fever. And of course we kind of knew that Leon Balogun would miss this game due to injury, but the rest are his own personal preference for this one.
Yeah, it's just really interesting to look, because obviously 12 points behind Celtic, this huge game coming up against them on Thursday, but this is a game Rangers really can't look beyond. Although when you look at the team news, it does look as if Philippe Clement has at least one eye on Thursday. 7 changes, that is massive to any team. Pretty much every player was below par on Thursday, weren't they? Some may need a rest before that Celtic game, but Rangers now come into a game you feel they need to win, relying on players who have proven over the course of time that have been unreliable. The likes of Oscar Cortes, he's played less than 500 minutes of football since joining last January, 0 of those minutes since September. Kieran Dowell, just his 7th league start in a year and a half since joining. The likes of Ridvan Yilmaz as well, who's been in and out the team. He always seems as if he's coming back from injury issues. So these are players that are going to need to put in a real shift to try and make sure that Rangers don't fall further behind Celtic before facing them, because if Rangers come out of this game and they're 14, 15 points behind Celtic, you do wonder what that does mean for Philippe Clement and for his players going forward. You wonder what the reaction would be from Rangers fans everywhere, but especially the ones in the stand. They've travelled in big numbers once again, the Rangers supporters, as they always do for away matches, but you can imagine it would get really toxic if it doesn't go to plan today.
Yeah, let's bring the other guys in on it. They've given us team news from their own games. David Field, where does Philippe Clement sit currently? Because a couple of weeks ago everything was rosy again after Spurs and a near miss against Celtic and all that stuff. What are you thinking about his position now?
He's on the precipice for me, Gordon, and I can't get my head around that team selection. I've actually just seen some more comments from him where he says it's the performance staff that have told him he needs to be careful with the likes of Czerny and Agamani and Jefty. For me, he has to win this game, otherwise I don't even know who'd be in charge during the week. I couldn't believe he left Nico Raskin out against St Mirren because he didn't want him to get suspended for the Celtic game, and now he's left more players out and gone with guys, as Andrew says, who can't be match fit at all for a really tough away game against Motherwell. I can't get my head around the team selection. For me, he's one real bad defeat away from probably getting relieved of his duties, and for me, he has to win this game. Forget about Ibrox against Celtic, he has to win this game against Motherwell. I think he's taken a huge gamble today.
Yeah, I mean, Fraser, I don't know how many years ago the thought of performance staff have told you who to pick would be alien. I think it clearly has a part to play, but there is an accusation that Philippe Clement either leans on it too much or certainly mentions it too much for some people.
Yeah, I mean, certainly mentioning it, I think, quite often can bring its own problems. This is a must-win game. This isn't a game where you can rest people. There's no surprise Celtic have rested 5 players because they can, and they can bring in quality players, and they've got an easy home game, whereas this game is going to be a difficult one. And I can totally understand why if he made 4 or 5 changes, because most of the players that played on Thursday night couldn't have arrived today and thought, yeah, I'm definitely going to be playing. But certainly Czerny's a surprise one for me. I think Egamani's dropped off, so bringing Dessers in isn't a problem. I think Yilmaz makes sense when you think back to the cup final when Oliver Kuhn gave Jefty a lot of problems. He was booked, he was on the verge of getting sent off. Then Yilmaz came on, I thought played Kuhn as well as anybody has this season. So it's a kind of mixed bag, but yeah, the performance stuff sometimes it maybe is a wee bit in players' heads as well, because if you tell them they're tired, then they become tired. But yeah, it's a big game today. I don't think any player who was left out, other than Czerny perhaps, could actually point the finger and say, listen, I deserve to be playing. But we'll see at the end of this 90 minutes. The result the other day, which is a disaster for Rangers. The slim chance they had of catching Celtic for me is gone already. But they can't afford to lose today if Celtic win and go into the Old Firm game 15 points behind. That would just be an unmitigated disaster.
I often reference this, Fraser, because I still think it's important to remember Rangers will be favourites at Fir Park. They'll be big favourites at Fir Park. I personally have seen this movie many times where you think maybe it's a team that is not quite at it, and ultimately they can still win comfortably, and even with fringe players. However, Is there an issue that Philippe Clement really has to address with the away form? They've played 8 away games this season in the league. They've won only 4 of them. They've got a -1 goal difference away from home. He denies the existence of any issue away from home, but those stats would really suggest otherwise.
Yeah, they do, and you know, so often when Rangers would go away from home, you know, they might get tested by a Motherwell, St Mirren, Dundee United, somebody like that as well. But they would hold out at the back and they'd score a couple of goals and they would end up comfortable. But it's not been that way this season. Everything's been a problem, and you know, and you look at the injuries he's got and the issues he's got at the back, where he's playing with Proper, who hasn't really been a first choice since he came in. He's playing Dujon Sterling, who I think is a really good player, but he's playing as a centre back, maybe more comfortable on the right hand side as well. There's not too many options there, and I think he likes Stama and Mawasine and Lyndon Miller and others. They will actually fancy their chances against the Motherwell back four, because St Mirren didn't lose on the back foot. They played really well for long periods of that game as well. Sometimes you can go and pinch a 1-0 win against the Old Firm, but there was times when St Mirren threatened to score more goals. So that's the problem Rangers have got, and they're going to have to be strong at the back, because I think they will score, Rangers, but I think they could also really concede goals as well. So a big day ahead for Rangers, no doubt about that.
That said, Gordon Dalziel, maybe we do over-exaggerate the bad stuff when it comes to the big teams in Scotland. Philippe Clement's view, although he's changed the team, would probably be along the lines that if they play like they did in the second half in Paisley, they will probably win this game. I know it might not feel that way. I know there is a lot of negativity anytime they lose games, and they did in Paisley, but that's probably how he'll view it.
Yeah, and I think he's got to have faith in the squad, Gordon. He's got to rotate. There's a lot of games, a lot of important games. Now, if you look at that back five, for instance, with the goalkeeper included, right now, personnel-wise, for me, that's his strongest back five. So he's went with his strongest back five. Yilmaz, I think's the better of the left backs.
Do you think he's better than
Yes,
Jeff?
I do. Yeah, I do. I really do. I think Jeffrey going forward, middle to front, is good, and I think he's got a good delivery. But I think Yilmaz is a better defender, all-round player. You've got Diamande Raskin, who's been very good for Rangers in the mid-left part. Danilo Dessers is a top goal scorer. So we can all look at this, it's a massive gamble from him. 9 of those players would basically be in your first team, no doubt about that. McDowell and Cortez, that's the big 2 you're looking at. Now, you've got to trust them somewhere along the line. There's no point just saying, in the next 3 games, I'm going to play my strongest starting 11. He's not got it at his disposal. Time will tell. It is a big game. But if they play this afternoon, they should have enough in their locker to beat Motherwell. But I look at Motherwell now and think, if I'm Stuart Kettlewell sitting in that dressing room now, I'm saying to my players, get on the front foot, get after them, put pressure on them, and see if they can handle it.
I wouldn't want to name drop him because it probably wasn't for publication, and it wasn't Andy Halliday, by the way, but somebody who's close to these things offered me a theory that I wondered if there's something in it, Mark, that this Motherwell team this season is, look at their league position, is probably better equipped to deal with the so-called weaker teams, but is maybe under-equipped in the bigger games, less likely to give the big two a bloody nose basically than they were last season, because Stuart Kettlewell had a pretty good record against Celtic and Rangers, season, or at least if they were losing, it was always by the odd goal. It was always tight. Didn't really see that at Celtic Park at the weekend, the other day, albeit that's still a big challenge going there.
Look, I still thought they made sticky for Celtic in the first period without really creating anything up top, but I do still think they carry a threat. When you look at their front two, you look at the quality they've got in midfield, it's maybe just not came to fruition against Celtic and Rangers this season. Doesn't mean to say it can't happen today. I think Daz is right. When you've got a Rangers team who are underperforming, are much changed, the manager's under severe pressure, you know how that may impact the players, then you're not going to get a better chance in having a home game. The conditions as well, Gordon, you've got to look at that today. Anybody around this area will tell you how blustery it is out there. So in terms of football, is it going to be free flowing? Are you going to have Rangers coming at you constantly? I don't think you are. I think it's going to be much more of a battle this afternoon, and if you can match Rangers in that respect, you've every chance. Every time you play Rangers, you're wondering about their attitude, their mentality. For the manager at Paisley on Thursday night to say that they lacked intensity was amazing. How can you lack intensity when you're that far behind Celtic? So it'll be about Rangers' attitude and mentality today.
Likewise Motherwell, because Motherwell had a good first half against Celtic and disappeared in the second half. Absolutely anonymous. So which version of either side will turn up today? There is no doubt, though, that if Philippe Clement were to draw or lose this game, the night would turn poisonous.
Do you think he'd lose his job?
Not tonight.
No, I don't. I think he gets to Celtic anyway.
But yeah, it
doesn't matter what happens. But
what other Rangers manager has been 15 points behind Celtic before the New Year game? That's a big ask.
Yeah. Let's cross that bridge if and when we come to it. What about Celtic Park, Gabriel? This is, I suppose, a rotation clearly for Brendan Rodgers, but I wonder if there's maybe more of an issue there with Austin Trusty. He's not started that many games recently. Is he likely to come back in for the Rangers game, or can Liam Scales stamp that place by another good performance today?
Yeah, it's an interesting one, Gordon, because Liam Scales has been so impressive over the last 18 months for Celtic, be that in domestic football or in the Champions League as well. So I don't think there's a big drop-off between Scales and Trusty. It has become apparent in the last month or so that Trusty is the first choice at the left side of defence to partner Cameron Carter-Vickers. But I don't think it's the most concerning thing for Celtic fans if it is Scales who plays in the Old Firm. We saw that Scales came on for Trusty in the League Cup final as well, and didn't necessarily make a massive difference to the Celtic backline. You're talking about changes for Celtic, of course they've made 5. Really interesting, the midfield 3 today. No Callum McGregor, which is such a rarity. How will the dynamic of Arne Engels, Paolo Bernardo and Reo Hatate work out? Who will be the deepest one? Who will come and get the ball off the centre halves like McGregor usually would? And we know that it's going to be 2 of these 3 that are starting alongside McGregor next week at Ibrox. So it's almost a trial. Who are the 2 standouts? Who are going to be the 2 that partner McGregor? So really interesting watch, Gordon.
Yeah, really looking forward to it. Hugh Keevins, again, the focus is obvious why it's the way it's been, because in theory going away to Fir Park is harder than at home to St Johnstone. I mean, Brendan Rodgers, though, I suppose he would want to guard against complacency, but that's about the only thing you can imagine, coming to bite Celtic today.
The way that Brendan Rodgers guards against complacency is to point to the calendar year 2024. Celtic have lost 2 matches in 12 months. Here we are, the last working day of the old year. Celtic have lost 2 games. Now they have to show that kind of consistency, and if they do, they will take care of St Johnstone comfortably. For St Johnstone to get anything out of this match, it would be the shock of not just 2024, the shock of the millennium, and Celtic looking to go to Ibrox in as strong a position as possible. What happens at Motherwell is something they cannot influence, but they cannot commit the cardinal sin of dropping any points at home against the bottom club.
Well, the stage is pretty much set. What's any truth in the rumour, Andrew McLean, that the Motherwell boys over in the corner have used Gordon Dalziel's old bed sheets for a Christmas themed display at Fir Park?
Oh no, well, whatever they're using is too clean to be Gordon Dalziel's bed sheets, but there is a big tifo there. It's of Macaulay Culkin's face, and it says, "This is our house, we have to defend it."
That's my bed sheets.
I like it.
This is my bedroom.
Leaning into the festive spirit. I'm happy
Please
with
not.
that, I have to say. Right, the stage is set. We're looking forward to it. Celtic, St Johnstone, Motherwell, Rangers, St Mirren, Dundee, Hibs, Killie and Ross County Hearts. And the kick-off in all of those games, you are spoiled for choice, is coming next.
This is Clyde One Super Scoreboard. It's game day, and this is the home of Scottish football. It's Clyde One Super Scoreboard.
And just like that, we're underway. A 5-game 3 o'clock card on a Sunday afternoon, including Celtic and Rangers, both playing at the same time. What more could you want for the period in between Christmas and New Year, when nobody quite knows what's happening? Hugh Keevins, some would say you don't know what's happening at any time of the year.
Correct.
But what does the ACCA look like this afternoon?
Celtic home win against St Johnstone. Rangers away win against Motherwell. St Mirren won the last 3. Dundee lost the last 3. Home win for St Mirren. Hibs Kilmarnock a draw, and Ross County and Hearts also a draw.
Celtic home win. I'm going to go for a draw here at Fir Park between Motherwell and Rangers. I'll go for a St Mirren home win, a Hibs home win, and I think Hearts will win at Ross County today.
Hold on, quickly, give me your racker.
No,
quick.
I'll take my time. I'll go for Celtic home win, Motherwell Rangers draw, St Mirren home win, Hibs home win, and a draw at Dingwall.
Goal flashes with M&D Green Pharmacy.
Goal Hearts. And it's young James Wilson filling in. Well, he has been playing alongside Lawrence Shankland, but clearly more onus on him today. A lovely through ball by Liam Boyce, back in his old stomping ground. 1 minute and 20 seconds, we think, on the clock. James Wilson puts Hearts in front. Ross County 0, Hearts 1. Diomande fired one over the bar for Rangers in the early stages at Fir Park. Nothing really to tell you about from Celtic yet, but we are up and running already. I like it.
They do say that Celtic and Rangers are looking at James Wilson, and clubs are always susceptible to a big offer for a young player, and he surely does have a way with him.
He started well, hasn't he, in his Hearts career, and scored some big goals, and none more so than today if that turns out to be the winner. But there's another 89 minutes to go. But what a start.
Turns out to be the winner.
Aye, it might be. They might win 1-0.
Catch yourself on. I think we'll get plenty of goals this afternoon, plenty of drama, plenty of talking points.
I hope that turns out to be the winner, because I will remind you of it come 5 o'clock.
Plenty of goals.
Yes.
But we're off and running. Looking forward to this afternoon, Gordon. A lot of good fixtures there, a lot of exciting fixtures. We touched upon it. I think that Celtic will obviously dominate Celtic Park, and I'm looking that Celtic probably have a comfortable afternoon. I'm not too sure about Rangers.
We've got a corner to Motherwell early on. Is it Andy Halliday?
Yeah.
He's going to go over and take it. Weather's not doing much for that Barnet this afternoon, I have to say. Wind. But Motherwell second top of the league for set piece goals this season, behind
they're a threat
Hearts,
if they
it's
can
a
get
decent ball.
It's
Flicked away at the front post, and the danger will be cleared. But Motherwell trying to put Rangers under some pressure.
What a ball that was, by the way. Well defended as well, because if you're flicking that on as a defender at the front post, you've got to get enough height and distance to make it clear the man at the back.
A break away from Rangers from that corner. Poor ball.
Well, it's the match we thought it would be, though, albeit that we're still at the embryonic stage. But both teams, you said it yourself, Gordon, Motherwell have got to be front foot, got to put Jack Butland under pressure. He crumbled under pressure the other night in Paisley and gave away the silliest goal of the season, or the silliest penalty of the season.
I can't believe more people aren't linking that to only having a new baby a couple of days ago. That's just inevitable. Your head's scrambled.
What happened?
He's all over the place. Guy's no slept in 3 days, so he just decides to clatter.
Like that.
Just decides to clatter Greg Kiltie.
It was one of the most ridiculous challenges I think I can remember from a goalkeeper. Seeing the distance the ball's travelled, the time to process it coming through, and thinking, I'm going to make that. Oh, it was
big
awful.
chance. Celtic Hitati with the effort. It was blocked. It fell to the captain for the day, Cameron Carter-Vickers, and he fires over the bar. I don't think you need me to tell you Celtic are on top possession wise and so on. That's clearly going to be the case. But that was a decent chance. It goes a begging, and it's still goalless there, just like it is for Park. The only goal to tell you about is at Dingwall.
I think you can see the weather playing a part there.
I was going to say, Matt, are we going to give the players an excuse this afternoon with the weather? I know that the weather, if you get out the tunnel at Fir Park, is blowing left to right, because I opened my window today and I know exactly.
Stick the finger out, did you?
Yeah, I've stuck more the finger out.
Well, I'm doing the traditional thing of looking at the corner flags, and they're hardly blowing in the wind. So, it's Scotland in December. We have to.
No, you did not look at Halliday's hair at that corner. That's blustery.
That's Turkish hair.
That is blustery. Big chance, Rangers, but Oxborough comes and collects. Maybe a tale of two goalies, Gordon. We spoke about Jack Butland. Is Aston Oxborough's early season reliability starting to wane a bit when you see the Kilmarnock goal? I think it was a dropped cross against Hibs. There was another one in the game that followed.
Look, that's going to happen. He's waited such a long time for his opportunity, Gordon. He come in, hit the ground running, absolutely brilliant, you've got to say. He's taking a bit of a dip. He's just like a normal player, taking a bit of a dip. I was speaking to one of the Motherwell boys the other day in the gym.
Stephen O'Donnell.
Yeah, I'll not name him. Cool. And he was a very complimentary of him.
Like him for sure.
Absolutely. So look, everybody takes a dip, whether you're a goalkeeper or an outfield player. It happens. I'm sure he'll bounce back.
Celtic just trying to thread quite an aggressive through ball there. It couldn't quite come off in the end, goes through to the goalkeeper, and up the other end Liam Scales is just going to head one back to Kasper Schmeichel.
I think it's just a case of when Celtic score it. I know they made hard work of it the other day there, I totally understand that, and they end up running out 4-0 winners. I think that could be the same today. I think if you're Celtic, you've just got to be patient. I think all eyes are firmly on Fir Park. I think that's where, if your Rangers can go and get a positive result, and that's a great chance.
Yeah, chance Rangers. It's a ball into the box.
He's injured as
and
well.
It's actually Cyril Dessers who sneaks in. And speaking of Aston Oxford, I don't know how he didn't catch it at the first time of asking. That would be a worry.
He's got to score. That's a sitter.
Yeah, what a ball that is for Yilmaz.
That's why I said I think Yilmaz is a better option than Jeff. He's got to score. I don't know
why does. I think he should go with his instep there. It's almost, it's coming across him and he's hit it with his laces but got no real power. I think if he opens up his foot and hits that with his instep, he's got a much better chance of generating some power.
I call that, sir.
Talking about St Johnstone, I wonder though, are they quite a strange case in that I accept they're bottom of the table? Can't argue with that, and therefore it's top v bottom and all that. But do they still have players that are more capable of hurting Celtic than they have in previous visits? Do you know what I mean? Like, I can't polish up the overall picture when they're bottom, but if you look at the form of Mackenzie Kirk as an example,
Sidibe, Kimpioka, a bit of pace there. So Mackenzie Kirk's on fire in recent weeks.
Was it 4 in his last 6 or something?
Obviously a threat going forward. I think it was that last season St Johnstone went there and we thought the same, it'll be a matter of time, and did they get a 0-0? Yeah, and it was a frustrating afternoon.
Was that during Celtic's? That was during Celtic's kind of sticky start, though, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But you can talk about
corner Rangers.
He's scoring goals, and quite rightly so, and the lads on fire. You've got to get the service. You know, we've been as underdogs to Celtic Park, and you're playing as a centre forward and you hardly see the ball, never mind thinking about scoring a goal. So it's up to the St Johnstone teammates to help them.
Well, Rangers were the only team in the league who hadn't scored from a set piece. They've got, I think, a couple since then, but it did take a long time. They've got a corner now, and it's whipped right in, and Motherwell can't clear it. It's nodded down, and then eventually booted clear, I think, by Harry Payton.
I've got to say it's a good start from Rangers. I think the manager will be quite happy. They're certainly on the front foot. Had a couple of chances. Here's another opportunity. Oh, it's a poor ball.
Referee gets in the way.
Yeah, they have started with the intensity that Philippe Clement did not see at Paisley and demanded to see today. Penalty check there for you?
Nah, I think it's just come up the top of his shoulder there, Hugh. I think he's clever in that. Yeah, I don't think that's a penalty kick.
Yeah, the arm is tucked in from Ewan Wilson. He's tucked right in against his body. And does it even hit below the t-shirt line anyway? Possibly not. So.
Yeah, I don't they're not even checking that, are they?
Well, they'll take a look. You have to sort of check everything, don't you, inside the box. But you'd be surprised if it wasn't play on. And indeed it is.
Well, anyway, the intensity is with Rangers, and it has to be that way because they cannot contemplate being any worse than 12 points behind Celtic. And to go back to your point about St Johnstone and their suitability for today as opposed to other days, you said it yourself, Gordon, Celtic could not have handpicked a more accommodating fixture before the Old Firm derby than the bottom team at home. If St Johnstone get anything today, it's a major blunder.
St Mirren most of the ball in Paisley against Dundee, but very, very windy there, says David Friel, so not making life too easy for either side.
It's windy there on a nice summer's day, the best of times.
Diomande, maybe it's one of those that perhaps after 25 minutes the yellow card comes out there because he was robbed of possession, and Lennon Miller would have just driven forward with the ball but was held back.
Yeah, it's a silly booking, isn't it?
That's not a booking, that's my point.
Oh, it didn't?
No.
He takes too much time on it. He gets caught. Yeah, it should have been. He gets his pocket picked there by Miller. Just need to move the ball a little bit quicker.
That was a problem, how they conceded, wasn't it, the other night against St Mirren? Was it Sterling at the back, and he's not moved it quick enough, and he's been robbed. And you just think it'll come to nothing because in the last minute, but costly.
Hugh, a minute's applause in the 10th minute, because it is quite incredibly, always sends shivers down my spine a little bit, the 17th anniversary of the tragic passing of Phil O'Donnell on the pitch, of course, at Fir Park. 17 years, quite incredible. I know you were all involved on Clyde One Super Scoreboard that day, so the applause ringing out around Fir Park in the 10th minute for that one.
You only have to look at the plaque on the Phil O'Donnell stand, captain and legend, and that was Phil O'Donnell, outstanding player for Celtic as well. Tommy Burns brought him to Celtic, or had the onerous task of phoning Tommy the day after to ask him to speak about Phil O'Donnell. He was heartbroken, and that the Motherwell supporters have paid a respectful tribute to him.
Genuinely only this morning I think I realised what the score was at the time, which probably, I knew Motherwell had scored a few and I know they'd played well, but 5-3 I think someone said to me this morning, and it just kind of shows you how everything was really put into perspective that day.
Oh yeah, I mean, for the family to have Phil suffer what he suffered on the park, again, I say, heartbreaking.
Anyway, the Motherwell fans have shown their appreciation, their tributes. The game goes on, Motherwell 0, Rangers 0. There was a sniff for Celtic there a moment or two ago, just couldn't quite get on the end of it. It was Engels, a deep ball to Kyogo, just couldn't quite control it. And I think Nicholas Kuhn, he's gone on one of his mazes along the edge of the box and danced in, but again just couldn't quite get out his feet at the end, and it drifts out of play. So positive start. This is a great run by Marvin Coletta for Motherwell. Actually, it was Maswanisi in the end. I don't know why he took the shot on. It was ambitious.
Ambitious. If he's beaten Butland from there, he's kidding himself on. It was a great run.
But this is why the old shots on target stat is useless, because that goes down as one. You know, the other day people say Motherwell didn't even have a shot on target at Celtic Park. You can get shots on target if you do that.
I would say that's a back pass.
Surprised he didn't keep going though, because he'd done so well to wriggle past three
big
players.
Chance Celtic. The ball was cut across the box. I thought Atati, he was just going to sweep it into the corner, but he miscued completely. So Celtic very much on top, but you would be looking, if you're Brendan Rodgers, at Kyogo's shot wide as well. So it does look like a matter of time, but it doesn't always play out that way, of course.
No, depends how you look at these things. It's either a matter of time, or is this the beginning of one of those days? So, but with Celtic's strength on the bench, McGregor to come on if anything was to go wrong. But
you'd certainly rather at the start that they have just now, Hugh, than what we witnessed against Motherwell for large parts, where it was frustrating.
Robin Proper into the book. Motherwell broke with purpose. Stamatolopoulos did really well. Maswanisi nipped in and he was taking it for a run until he was pulled back by Robin Proper, who, as the cliche goes, now has to be careful.
Exactly, because another booking, and Philippe Clement has a real defensive crisis on his hands for the Celtic game, because Proper would miss it, and with Proper you never know, because he's such a loose cannon at times.
I just think he's immobile, Hugh, that's it. And when he's playing against Maswanisi, he does have to be careful.
I mean, even Nicholas Raskin sort of having a go at Robin Proper as if to say,
what are you doing?
What are you thinking there?
Because
there was a few. I mean, I'm not really sure why he even came out to get involved in the first place. Arnie Engels is looking bright. He's fired one into the side netting, and his left foot to Celtic again. Search for that opener.
Well, the crowd, as I say, will be watching the Celtic game, listening to us, wondering what's happening to Rangers. So that's the simultaneous excitement of it all. But as Mark Wilson said, better to have a catalogue of near things and chances created than doing not very much of anything.
Yeah, Payton's a bit lucky there, getting away with a bad touch. It's a good ball played inside. Bad touch.
What do you mean a bad touch? Nothing wrong with your first touch taking it 2 foot above your own head.
Raskin barges into him and gives a free kick away.
I have to say, I know he's Mr. No Excuses, but did you see the pass to Yilmaz a minute ago? It was along the ground, and the wind just blew it away from him and he could barely keep it in.
Incredibly difficult for the players today, and you can see that in the first 15 minutes. But see if you're Raskin there, why are you charging in? Payne's already taken a bad touch.
Let me tell you, is
that the next step, those kind of judgment errors, or not errors as such, but Nicholas Raskin has clearly been very good since he came back in the team, and Hampden was such an interesting case study where he was, to the eye test he was excellent, but he dived in on a couple of things, Gordon, and cost
a chance, Gordon.
Chance.
It's a goal.
We've got a goal at Fir Park.
Goal flashes with M&D Green Pharmacy.
Motherwell 1, Rangers 0. It's Apostolos Stamatolopoulos, a ball forward. He wanted it more than the Rangers defence. Jack Butland didn't cover himself in glory either, and the Australian pokes the ball under the goalkeeper. Philippe Clement does not look impressed. I think he's having a word with the officials, not sure why. We'll get another look at it, but it was just a ball forward, and Motherwell have the lead.
He's looking for a handball.
He's looking for a handball, but Robin Proper doesn't deal with the first ball. He tries to head it, he just heads it off as it Stama, and then it falls right
see it
into
again.
the path.
So Proper. Oh,
it's a handball.
Well, the hands are by his tucked in.
I think this could be ruled off.
Maybe. What do you think, Mark?
Well, it certainly hits his hand. He's turning away.
Where is that hand?
It's tucked in, I think.
Now here's the bit that's maybe quite complex, because he is the goal scorer, but the ball gets passed back to him. This could be an interesting one for the officials. Maybe it will be.
Jack Butland better hope that it's chopped off, because he was hopeless at
Butland, Proper and Sterling, it's as bad as you'll see between the three of them. And
I don't think this is going to count. I do not think this is going to count.
Philippe Clement's desperate for it not to count. He's gesturing to the hand. The thing is, again, you're looking at is there a handball offence? Because we talk about the arm being outstretched.
He turns away, his arm's down.
So
but it certainly comes off.
Oh, it does. But if that hits his arm in the penalty box, it's a goal.
Well,
Motherwell won Rangers.
I was going to say that'd be incredibly harsh if that was chopped off.
This is the way to think about it. If Stamatolopoulos does that in his own box, are you giving a penalty?
Yes.
No, I'm not.
Well, there they are.
Yeah,
because his arms. His arms across his body. You know, they have to be outstretched. That's the whole point that we've discussed many times.
Yeah, he's turned away as well. So it's turned away. It's by his side. It's tucked in. And
look, it's a goal and it's a big blow for Rangers, but you've got to look at the back two and the goalkeeper. It's schoolboy
from all three of them.
Schoolboy.
All three of them, and then just to leave the gap for the two centre backs to leave a gap like that and almost say, "You get it, no, I'll get it." Butland's slow off his line as well, but even the finish, is it through Butland's legs?
I think just under him. I think I need to see it again.
Dreadful. It comes from a long kick as well. The goalkeeper just pumps it off the park, and then all of a sudden, one pass later, the ball's in the back of the net.
This must be
Jack Butland.
Oh, Butland.
This must be the noisiest baby in the world, because so far he's cost him a daft penalty and now a ridiculous attempt at keeping the ball out of the net.
I've just caught that. I was wondering. The noisiest baby in the world. He's not covered his cell in glory, let me tell you, but to be fair, his centre halves have certainly not helped him.
Well, Celtic Park will have erupted when they heard of that goal, and it's now up to Celtic to compound Rangers' misery as they pepper the St Johnstone goal.
Well, we've been here before. We've seen it in the semi-final when Motherwell took the lead and then sort of didn't know what to do, and Rangers went on to win the game. So plenty of time still to go, Hugh, but a great confidence booster for Motherwell. That's what I'm saying.
I think even
get at Rangers, you'll get things off them.
Goal aside though, you're not looking for a bit more if you're Rangers. I just glanced up 19 minutes. We saw Oscar Cortez with the ball to remind everyone that he's playing. I don't think we've seen a lot of them.
I was going to say in that semi-final, if you're a Rangers fan and you're trying to think along those lines, you probably had your strongest side, not playing very well at the time, but that got you back into it. You're dealing with 9 changes here, going 1-0 down, and guys like Cortez who haven't kicked a ball for a long time at this level. Do you have the same confidence that you're going to get back into it as you did in that semi-final?
But Cortez was a big player for them, Mark. I know what you're saying.
Liked him. I liked Cortez when he first came into Scottish football. But he's been at a long time.
I know that, but how are you going to get back into match? You've got to play somewhere.
Sure, listen, when it comes to Rangers, we are in danger of nitpicking and over-analysing, but just as an example, how does he go above Ross McCausland to start the game today? And I'm not saying Ross McCausland is nailed, but you know what I mean, he's the one that comes on and he's been used and he's clearly fit because he's always there.
Yeah.
So how does that happen?
That's a fair point. The manager must just see a better reaction for Cortez. Thinks he's a better player in training, thinks he can get away with 60 minutes under his belt. He's a winger, he's got a full back behind him, so it's not like he's a midfield player that's probably covering every inch of the pitch. It's as Yilmaz's brilliant play here.
And fair play, because we said Cortez had to contribute something, and he does.
Dear me.
Fluffed lines by Danilo. Again, you guys are unwilling. I think the wind does that.
Alright, okay, I'm going to give you that, because I live
to judge the pace of that onto your head. I think that's clearly what's done him there. It just hangs a little bit, no?
Yeah, no, I'm not being as kind as you. That is a brilliant ball from Yilmaz. He's 7 yards out. He's got it all wrong.
Listen, enough noisy babies and wind. That's just a rank, rotten header from a real gift of a chance.
It wasn't.
You don't like spending time outdoors, though. You don't know the elements can be like in that part of the world.
I'm paid to work indoors. They're paid to work outdoors, and they're falling down.
The elements are poor. I left there about 2 years ago, and it's very strong winds, and I would say high winds. But I agree with the lads. There's no excuse here. I think he's got to do better with that header.
Yilmaz has started well on the left hand side, because I'm not so sure if he is now Rangers' best left back, because Yefty going forward looks apart. I agree with you defensively, but I think sometimes he can be wasteful in the final third. Yilmaz, I think that's twice, 2 good balls in, that one particularly, and Dessers should have scored the first one. Daniil certainly should have done better with the second one.
If you're playing against Celtic and you're picking the team, are you playing Yilmaz or Jefty?
Yilmaz.
Home game, Yefty.
Oh, God,
He's gone very specific.
For a home game,
for an argument.
No, for a home game, I think
against
Celtic, you've got to go on the front foot right away.
Well, Celtic are on the front foot at home to St Johnstone, but still no goals yet. An incredible ball across the face from Alistair Johnson, just dribbled past everyone, just waiting for a touch. He's back in today, Mark. We didn't really dwell on that too much pre-match. That's clearly a big boost with Celtic coming up, Rangers coming up, sorry.
Well, that goes to show you how important your fullbacks are. Chanting about Rangers there, but for Celtic, he's certainly... Oh, it's another chance maybe for...
Yeah, Motherwell down the left hand side of the box. Just a poor ball in the end, just gets right underneath it, and he knows it, Ewan Wilson, because it just needed anything across the face.
He doesn't need to put that much power in that. He's in a great position. It's well worked. Motherwell are getting men forward, causing problems. Midfield runners, just stand that up.
Ball ended up on Craig Newt.
No, Craig Newt's the other way, mate.
Is it?
Yeah,
don't ruin the dramatic.
Yeah,
quite like that.
You've got to get your directions right.
He's got no time for a good line if it doesn't come from him.
That's fair.
I tell you what, but to highlight that opportunity comes about against Sterling and Proper, it's just too easy to play against. They obviously don't understand each other's positioning a lot of the time. That's what you get when someone's just a makeshift centre back. But Proper's had problems all season. Balogun, the best centre half, I believe, at Rangers, is out now. That's an issue.
John Suter's the best centre
half.
Oh, sorry,
Suter, I forgot about Suter.
Dundee have been forced to take off Jordan McGee and Kumetio. Ingram and Kelly both on.
Why?
Tell you what,
Head knock
injured.
or something.
If you're not having a good time of it, and then you get forced into a double change after 20 odd minutes, that's not ideal, is it? When your luck's out, your luck is out.
Tony Dock going through a tough time at the minute. I wondered about Dundee this season if they'd struggle. A lot of chopping and changing for last year, where they had a very good side.
I know it's only one man, you might say, but especially once Luke McCowan moved on.
Well, he's your big one,
Motherwell have it down the right. Caleta just showed too much of it to Yilmaz. I think he had space to just take it down the line already without having to stand up Yilmaz, but throw it into Motherwell.
You got to drop the shoulder there, all saying. Drop the shoulder, knock it by him, see what he's got. You must have known that.
It's a great saying.
I didn't have the drop shoulder now.
No, the winner had it against you. Drop the right shoulder.
As soon as I've seen it, I went the other way though. That's made me defensively sound.
That's because Mark not all two-footed like Mark Wilson.
This
could be a good break from Rangers, but it's a impressive recovery tackle. Motherwell just a bit frantic when they didn't have to be. Celtic corner as well. Arnie Engels thinks about delivering it out swinging, but Nicholas Kuhn has gone over to join him.
Well, the Celtic crowd, it's just a fact of human nature. They know that Rangers are 1 goal down and Celtic still haven't scored, and it ups the tension. They want the satisfaction of Celtic up, Rangers down.
Yeah, I think for sure. Also, I think that up to a certain point the performance matters, doesn't it? If it's a bit flat, it's easier for the fans to get anxious. But Celtic are
chapping at the door,
knocking at the
door. Any word of who touching the ball?
Apparently he's running right. I've just had a text in from my mate.
Yeah,
he's sensational in the wing.
Yeah, really. Nothing coming from him though.
Well, I'll tell you who isn't. Dowell. He's just ran the ball out the pitch, Yang style, from the other day, Hugh, where he had an opportunity to cross. He tried a touch too many. He's tried claiming for a corner, but he's another one that just comes into the side now and then. He just drops out of the squad and then he'll come on in a random game. Today starts and you're thinking, well, you're right, Gordon. What about McCausland?
Like I said, I don't want to overstate that. I'm not suggesting it's some scandal that Ross McCausland's been left out of the team.
Totally agree with you.
If you're talking about players that are fit and ready for that position.
Yeah.
It's not Kieran Dowell, is it?
Well, and McCausland, he's sometimes, more often, you get a bit of an end product. I don't really see Dowell. I may be proved wrong here today. I've never really seen Dowell do anything.
This is another good move,
Nice
Celtic
header there for
into the
Dowell.
box. And it's a good save as well. St Johnstone somehow managing to keep. It's a huge chance actually from Arnie Engels. It was a nice run, driving one, slipped into the box, and he just couldn't quite get the purchase on it. Whether that comes from a slightly loose first touch or not, but he just couldn't quite get the power that he needed. And there was power on Oscar Cortez's effort at Fir Park, but it flies high and wide.
Well, at least it's a sign of life from Rangers. They must understand that the implications of that Motherwell goal, that they are dicing with everything in advance of the Celtic game. But it was a wild finish.
Yeah, it's got to take a real good one to beat the goalkeeper. He gets in front of the defender, has a goal, but not really test it.
No.
So, a reminder of where we sit. Motherwell 1, Rangers 0, Celtic 0, St Johnstone 0, St Mirren, Dundee, Hibs, Killie, both goalless, and Ross County 0, Hearts 1. Things have changed.
Goal flashes with M&D Green Pharmacy.
And it's one of the informed teams showing why. Hibs go 1 up at home to Kilmarnock. It's Nectar Triantis with the goal. Hibs have been enjoying life recently. That derby victory, did you see the limbs, as the kids call it, in the away end? It looked fantastic. And they've taken the lead against Killie through Nectar Triantis.
Explain that one to me. Limbs.
Scenes, like arms and legs flying everywhere when the goal goes in.
And deservedly so. It was a brilliant goal, but what a brilliant run they're on at the minute.
It's actually a similar goal to the first one against Hearts. So it's an in-swinging Nicky Cadden corner. How good's he been, by the way? And then a header from about 4 yards out. But no, Nicky Cadden's been fantastic
both
in recent weeks.
But yeah, both of them I think made a difference in the wide area. I'm not a big fan of Beta and
the McFadgens.
Miller. The McFadgens are doing great.
Yeah, ever since I called them that, they've just kicked into life.
That was one of your better ones from this year, I have to say. Good tussle, Ewan Wilson and Kieran Dowell. I think Wilson pokes it out for a corner.
Dowell just looks as if he's not really up to this.
It's also not.
I don't think it's
not
just
his position
picking,
either.
Well, I was going to say, where is his position? Like behind the striker?
That's a good question. I don't know for sure. But
who doesn't know? Does the manager know?
He's certainly not a winger, though. Would be the obvious answer. That kind of chasing balls over the top. He actually did fine out of it, but is that really where he would want to be? Not sure. That's going to potentially be a penalty.
No, he's looking for that.
Was he looking for it? By the way,
all day long he was looking
touch
for
it was. I don't know if he knew much about the touch, but it was a great touch by Raskin to control it. He pulled it away, he turned. I don't know.
Have a look at it because it just.
I think he's looking for this, guys.
I think you've called it right.
All day long he's looking
right.
for it.
Did you get booked for those sorts of things now?
Again, he should be booked. That is a dive. I hammed that quick. I thought there must have been a touch there on him.
Goal flashes with M&D Green Pharmacy.
Can't really predict this league, can you? St Mirren 0, Dundee 1, and it's Simon Murray with the header, and it had been coming as well. So you're St Mirren at home, you beat Rangers, you're feeling lovely. Dundee having a miserable old time. Dundee take the lead. Mulligan's cross, bullet header. Dundee in front.
I think sometimes a club like St Mirren, as I'd rather Rangers cross comes in from Yilmaz, but a club like St Mirren, the amazing hype that follows a win over Rangers, there's a kind of involuntary reaction. They never start properly, I don't think, in the game that follows.
So the only game without a goal,
Celtic
against St Johnstone.
I knew they would struggle today.
Which is good credit to St Johnstone. They're doing what they can. They've not really prevented.
Or is it just a few bad misses from Celtic?
They've not really prevented any chances, but they've. The keeper's made some saves. They've put some bodies in decent areas.
Has Schmeichel touched it yet?
No, absolutely not. But that's to be expected. A bit of Celtic on the attack again. They've almost got a 2v1. Kuhn just shows a bit too much, and there we are. I think we've got a goal at Celtic Park now.
Goal flashes with M&D Green Pharmacy.
14 for the season for Nicholas Kuhn, and it's almost a trademark one it's becoming, where he dances in. He had a bit of space, put it onto his left foot, Hitate's through ball, smashes it into the back of the net, and Celtic do have their lead.
Well, Celtic Park ablaze now because they have the dream scenario for supporters. They have Celtic up in their match and Rangers down in their match. So Philippe Clement's side had better look lively.
It's amazing that you must do your work against Celtic and say about Kuhn, he'll always come in to that left foot, and you still can't stop him.
It's hard to stop them.
He's that good, you know he's coming on to it. That's his
you know what he's got better at though, that kind of finish when he does come in and the opportunity opens up and he's getting an end product. He's having a fantastic season. And that's what sometimes you need, that just bit of quality.
I've always really been annoyed by that phrase anyway, you know, like shown down the line or whatever it would be, because there are elite level players that have made their entire career out of doing that. You know that it doesn't matter that you know they're going to do it. It's how quickly they do it. And it's
Arjen Robben, he was
exactly.
He was
a
prime example.
So you're trying to tell me defenders didn't think about showing
I
down the
played
line.
against
There you
Robben
go.
against Chelsea at Stamford Bridge. I was showing him the line all day long.
Oh yeah,
he just kept running by me.
I know what he was showing you, the back of his shorts.
His wallet.
Good research from David Friel, who tells me, I won't pass it off as my own, that Nicholas Kuhn's best season tally before this season was 6, and he's at that, what did I say, 13 or 14? 14
I think.
By the end of the calendar year. That's some going.
Tell him just to concentrate on his own game. He's got enough in his play with St Mirren Dundee.
I'm all for it. The more stats we can throw in, the
Oh,
better.
I heard him the other day when you're not here.
Who?
I thought he was Brendan Rodgers in disguise in the airwaves. He was talking about Edon, diamonds, get the two wide men up the park for set. Oh,
David Friel.
Oh my goodness. Stick to
his info was great, but
stick to being a postie.
That's pulled him down a notch.
Did he get a coaching manual for it?
That's what he asked. He did ask that question.
There we go. Anyway, Motherwell defending fairly well. Rangers would be looking to add a bit more of a cutting edge in attack, and it's not like that's the only thing, because they're not defending brilliantly either. They're just is it much better than the first half in Paisley?
No, see, but if you analyse this game, the two goalkeepers take the goal away. Not really had anything.
Dessers had, for me,
Dessers
and
Danilo
both had.
Right, but they've not tested the goalkeeper.
Well, that's their fault, but
you know what I mean?
But the chances were there for them.
I still always feel though this feeds into a much wider issue with Rangers. You're right, but just trust me, because I've been in that home stand many times. It's supposed to be wave after wave. You know, you're supposed to be chewing your fingernails the full time if you're a Motherwell fan, and although there are chances, it's always moments with this Rangers team, it feels. And something, it's those two chances, yes, but they were chances out of nowhere. Do you understand? They're not like taking anything away, and they might have scored them and they might be level, but
see, the minute for me watching this game, and I might again be proved wrong, this looks like a Motherwell versus Kilmarnock, or a Motherwell versus pick any other team, but you're right, it doesn't look like they're playing Rangers or Celtic. That could be Motherwell versus Dundee United.
Good save, Joshua Ray. Celtic almost 2 in front. He cuts in again. Nicholas Kuhn, it's gone right in the top corner. We've got another goal at Fir Park.
Flashes.
What a finish.
With M&D Green Pharmacy.
Well, Motherwell 2, Rangers 0, and it's Tawanda Maswanise. Shows delicate footwork in the box, just opens his body up, fires it into the corner, and we have a serious story on our hands in North Lanarkshire. Philippe Clement looks stunned. Motherwell 2, Rangers 0.
He's 1 hour away from serious bother. It's just unacceptable. The attempts at defending, although do not take anything away from a classy finish, but the attempts at defending are puerile.
Go credit first, because that's excellent from How good is that touch from Maswanise?
I actually thought at the time, what is he doing turning back in there? Because I thought the opportunity was going to be in his left. He chops in so quickly, and what a finish into the bottom corner. Really good, but I guess are you going to highlight how poor this is defensively?
Oh, mate, listen, I heard the Rangers manager say after St Mirren, I could have made 9 substitutions if I had the opportunity. He obviously can't. He's standing there thinking, I could make 11 right now.
He's got the look of a lost man about him now.
That is, take nothing away, that is a brilliant finish, I've got to say. Congratulations to the lad, it was brilliant.
Andy has said that, I think, many times in the show. They can naturally, you know what market you're in. If you're Motherwell, you're going to get a guy that is a bit raw and doesn't do it all the time, but he is apparently extremely sharp. Andy says in training and stuff that, you know, if he's on it, it's very difficult to pin down.
He's still from that turn.
Oh, and forget the turn. He's still the composure. He signed foot that by.
It's so quick though when he turns, does it, and he hits it really quickly. So the Butland is excused of any wrongdoing there, because it's a brilliant finish. But I'm looking at Sterling for the first header. I'm looking at Tavernier, allowing him to turn back in. I'm even then looking at Sterling again. Can he not be there if he does turn inside the right back? It's so poor, but fair play to Masonisi and fair play to Motherwell, because they recognise the conditions. We keep talking about it, but they've made the Rangers back
Rangers
foot
are all
defend.
over the shop here. That's a dreadful ball, and Motherwell might attack, but actually the pass from Motherwell's not much better. Masonisi still a bit excited after his goal, I think.
But those balls that they're putting into Rangers' box and Rangers' final third, they are making proper defend. They're making Yilmaz head things away. There's never any clean contact. So Motherwell have got their game plan spot on. Rangers
need a goal before half time.
Yeah, absolutely, Gordon, spot on. If they go in 2-0 at half time, the Rangers end at Fir Park explodes. Philippe Clement, as I say, he has a look of a man who's a bit bemused by it all now. And his team selection will be challenged. The goalkeeper once again will be challenged. Nothing is going right, but Motherwell need to get in 2 up at half time to create that situation.
Yeah, there's still a bit of work to do, Hugh. Would you imagine the Rangers give a response? Yes, you probably would, but as this team got it in their locker, I'll be surprised if Cortes comes back out of that tunnel at half time. I would give him a hot bath. He must be freezing. The lad's just not contributed. He's not played a lot of football, I'll give him that, but he's not been given the service. He's contributed nothing. Doyle contributed nothing. I just think the two front men, Dessers, Danilo, they've had a half chance each. Dessers probably more than a half chance. Apart from that, nothing. They need something here special, Rangers.
Yeah, 38 minutes gone at Fir Park, and it is the story of the day so far. Still time remaining, of course, but Motherwell 2, Rangers 0. As it stands, Celtic would go 15 points clear because they lead St Johnstone by a Nicholas Kuhn goal to 0. And that we've got goals everywhere.
That would take you into the area where people say, well, if he loses for the 7th time to Celtic, then he has to go. This for the Rangers supporters is completely unacceptable.
I know things get a bit frantic, Mark, and Rangers are desperate, but there's a sort of a tackle. The ball kind of falls to Yilmaz, who swivels and shoots from maybe 45 yards out in the left back area.
Incredibly poor
to have
quality.
More about you than that.
Well, I was just about to come off the back of Dazia and say that at this situation you need characters who really try and drag you back in the game, and that just shows a lack of it by taking a swipe from 40 yards. You need better than that. You need better quality. And by the way, we were talking about him saying he was one of the better performers this afternoon in the 38 minutes. But there's too few of them.
No, the problem here, you look at this Rangers team, we're back to that. There's no structure to it. Absolutely no structure to it. They're just running all over the place, playing long balls, hopeful balls. Dessers, all credit to him holding that up.
Real credit to him, because he's done brilliant. And
He
actually
is
might
a
create
real
something.
chance.
Look, that's what I mean. I'm telling you, I'd take him off the now.
That's as bad as you'll see there.
It's slipped down the left side of the box. Cortes simply has to put something on it with his left foot, but he does that thing where he tries to run around it and open his body up, and he actually hits it wide of the front post. Can't even get it back across. That's awful.
I think that'll be one of those you see in social media time and time again, in comparison to how bad Rangers are in the lack of quality. That is, at this level, let's talk about in our premiership, that is as bad as you'll see as a finish.
But the thing is, you
lacking confidence.
You
can't
put
know how
that down
bad
to
that
finish.
is. I think if I was out there, that's kind of what I would have done there.
Would you?
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, don't be hard on yourself,
just
mate.
Panic.
Come on.
Just panic.
You'd get on target.
Just think, I don't want to hit this with my left foot. But I mean, he's sort of paid to do that, and we're
there. He gives. He's just given away. The lad's gone, and it's look. He's not played a lot of football, so let's not just jump on. I don't think he's getting any help. There's nothing in that mid. Look at that midfield, the Rangers.
But Mark, he's so close. There's a percentage option there where you just kind of get your head down, put your left foot on it, and put something back into an area.
Look at this. The Rangers are just standing off. They're just standing off, letting them pick up the ball. It's incredible. They need a goal. They need a goal.
Decision making though from Masonisi there, because it's actually allowed Rangers to come, and that is better. Cortes does put a left foot on it this time, and Motherwell can't quite get their bodies in where they should be. Get their bodies back now, but Rangers working it across.
He's sitting.
And he slashes it wide. That's Nicholas Raskin. It's all looking a little bit desperate, Mark. I mean, Raskin again, he's moving sort of away from goal. The ball coming across his body. He decides to smash one from 25 yards with his left foot.
In the last 5 minutes, we've seen 3 of the worst attempts that you'll see. Because Rangers had a wee bit of control.
Goal flashes with M&D Green Pharmacy.
Level in Paisley, and it's Toyosi Olusanya with the header. A great delivery, an even better header. Elvis Bomono with the cross, Olusanya with the finish, and it's St Mirren 1, Dundee 1.
Well, there's nothing like Dundee going in front to waking you up, take your head out of Thursday night and beating Rangers, and put your head back in Sunday when you've got a job to do. So I think that the alarm bell just went off there, and they've answered the call.
Yeah, good response just before half time. Gives you a better team talk if you get in 1-1, especially at your home, especially you're coming off a good result against Rangers. You don't want all that good work to go away and lose to Dundee. I'm just watching Rangers there, long ball up, proper as a centre half, getting out jumped every single time.
Who by? It's Diamatolopoulos, because he's not that big.
Exactly. Neither's Maswanisi, and he's
no.
coming off and finding areas.
Yep, Motherwell are in behind here in the corner with Maswanisi. He's going to take Yilmaz a run, you would imagine. Chops back onto his left, just tries to flight one that he can't quite get.
By the way, I know it's a poor delivery. How easy is that to chop inside Yilmaz there, and there's no one even coming over and covering Yilmaz? Maswanisi actually should just run into the box there.
St Johnstone head one over their own bar. Kyogo was lurking. It was Kuhn with the left-footed cross. So Celtic with the set piece. We saw how dangerous they can be. That one against Motherwell the other day, Mark, that Liam Scales front post where he flicks on, how often does Celtic do that? It works to great effect.
We were chatting about it in here and we said, you work in that, run across the front, the ball has to be spot on, flick to the back post where someone else is there to nod it in. Textbook. And Scales is very good at that, attacking the ball in the box.
Halliday with it, he's just trying to look after it.
Does well here, Gordon.
Fancy Motherwell for a third, by the way.
Motherwell corner.
You would fancy Motherwell for a third before Rangers got one back, the way this game's panning out. And Rangers might just be glad to get in at half time, 2-0. But Rangers are gone just now. You can see that.
He must be making 3 substitutions at half time. Must be.
Cherney, Igaman.
Oh, you've got to get people on that part and get there are people there that are not producing one single
I would be very keen to hear the noise from the away stand behind the goal at Fir Park.
He is so close to a major situation arising now at Ibrox, the manager.
Halliday corner, scramble clear, but Maswanisi's got it, edge of the box, it hits his own player, knocks him over. And Rangers with the chance to break, but Motherwell almost making life very uncomfortable again.
Mark's right. If you're looking at who's going to score the next goal, Motherwell are better team, better pressure, everything. Rangers are shambles. They need to get to half time, they need to get in, and they need to make changes quickly.
By the same token, Motherwell will have to make sure they don't undo their own good work by losing one before half time.
Yeah, there will be another chance, you would suspect, for Rangers. Here they do come forward into the box. I think there might be a free kick.
Yeah,
I would have been inclined to make changes before half time if I was come on.
Statement.
To show, if it's nothing but more than showing the fans that you recognise how poor this is.
I do. Look, I know we've pored over Philippe Clement's words many times, and I don't think it's easy having dafties like me constantly asking questions and you're trying to get the right message out there. But the other day, again, to sort of totally reject the suggestion that things are proving more difficult away from home in this league, in the face of cold hard facts that tell you that, Hugh. We're not even talking about performances, but if you want to do that, there'll be a case. Talking results away from home are so different. And again, obvious caveat, Rangers might go on and win this, but how can you look at the away results so far and not think there's an issue?
Well, the away results betoken the lack of attitude and mentality possessed by this team, but they've got a chance, cleared by Motherwell.
I think that's playing right into Motherwell's hands. They've got 3 centre halves in there that are delighted to go and header the ball all day long.
Robin Proper is having a real tough afternoon against Diamatolopoulos. He's bailed out by one of his pals on that occasion, but Diamatolopoulos had ragdolled him out the way.
King.
Leon King.
Proper's booked. He cannot defend, and he's causing you problems. I would just put King. King surely can't be any worse than Proper.
Yeah, also 2-0 down, so I would take the point. Yeah, it's not like, you know, you're in an
you've got another 4 subs to make, but you need to stay in this game 2-0 at least. And with Proper on the pitch, the way he's playing, I'm not so sure that's possible.
Tell you what, Motherwell could have been in behind there, but I think it was that Lennon Miller maybe tried the flick with the head back inside and didn't quite get it wrong. We've got 1 added, I think, at Celtic Park, where it remains Celtic 1, St Johnstone 0.
Motherwell will have to negotiate a minute and a half because 2-0 is a world of difference from 2-1.
Yeah, 4 added on at Fir Park, so actually 2.5 minutes
so
to go.
They really do
just defend your box, Hugh.
Yeah, and here's a big chance.
They'll defend their balls all day long.
Fresh air swipe.
Yeah, Rangers just trying to keep some pressure on them.
All the experience with Halliday. The old experience. That is brilliant. That's good play from Andy.
Jokes aside, because we love to slag him, he's played pretty well, hasn't he?
Yeah, he has.
Don't tell him when he's on tomorrow.
He's a good player, Andy. He's a good experience.
But there we go, free kick to Motherwell. We've played 2 of the 4.
The only thing we've got
half time, Celtic Park. Gabriel.
Celtic 1, St Johnstone 0 here at the interval. That man, Nicholas Kuhn, strikes again, his 14th goal of the season. A trademark finish at the half-hour mark. And it had been coming, Gordon, at Celtic on top right from the off, camped in St Johnstone's half. Arno Engels at the centre of it all in midfield, making runs beyond the striker. He had a few decent efforts saved, probably should have scored one of them. And the resistance eventually was broken by Kuhn after Reo Hatate unlocked the Saints defence with a great pass. The German took his time, cutting in on that left foot and just swept it past Josh Ray in the Saints goal. 2 minutes later, Kuhn cut in again, and it was a great save by Ray this time. Kuhn, the German, bending it into the top corner, looked destined to just nestle in the net, but a great save. Celtic, they've been good here. There are more goals out there for them in the second half. The Perth side offered nothing going forward, and as it stands, Celtic are heading 15 points clear at the top of the league, with Rangers and the Old Firm up next. Half time here, Celtic 1, St Johnstone 0.
Well, so far so good for Celtic. They'd be looking for the score line to look a bit better, perhaps, but 1-0 up at the break mark and complete dominance, so I don't think they'll grumble too much.
No, not too many moans about that. It sounds pretty similar to their game against Motherwell. They've got the luxury of a bench full of internationals as well that they can bring on if they want to stretch their legs further, but all going to plan for Brendan Rodgers at the minute.
Yeah, I agree. I think they'll be disappointed the game's not put to bed, but you'd imagine second half once again, and you look at the bench as well, the substitutes you can bring on. We've seen it against Motherwell. He made substitutions, they made an impact, they got goals, easy 3 points.
Okay, half-time whistles are starting to go. I'll just hold fire because I want to go Fir Park first if we can, as long as there's not too big a gap between the others, and I think we're only about 10 seconds away, so let's keep an eye. We'll be keen to hear if the Rangers fans are dissatisfied, shall we say, with what they've witnessed in the opening half. Cyril Dessers there just couldn't quite control one as it drifts through to Aston Oxborough. We have played the 4 minutes. It tends to be a minimum, so we'll give it another few seconds and see how Kevin Clancy goes. It's half-time Hibs as well. We'll go there in a second, but Motherwell still ongoing at the moment. Can't be much life left in this, you would have to say. And is that it? Half-time? I'm not sure. No, I think it's a throw-in to Motherwell. Milking this a bit at the end of the half.
Again, just lack of quality from Rangers. Again, Tavernier just booting up the line. Dowell can't control it. It's out for a throw-in. It's as poor as I've seen Rangers this year. And I know the conditions are bad, but bad for both sides. And Motherwell haven't been bad.
I don't know where an extra minute within the 4 has come from in this. I know I always say it's a minimum of, but I don't recall many stoppages in the
was it Halliday or Stammer
was
just
that
went
after
down there?
Oh, maybe fair enough. I forgot that was after the time had started. Andy Halliday wins another free kick, and that is half time. Andrew McLean.
Plenty of personnel changes for Philippe Clement's side, but no change on the pitch from Thursday. Losing at the break, away from home for the second game running, and the travelling support to my right absolutely furious as that half-time whistle went, and as the two Motherwell goals went in. They had a great chance early on in the game, just 7 minutes in. It was a wonderful cross by Ridvan Yilmaz, deep curled in behind the defence. Cyril Dessers got his foot on it, but just wasn't the finish the chance needed, and Oxborough gathered. There's been question marks over Rangers defending in recent times, many times this season, you've got to say, but even more so after this. Robin Proper attempted to clear with a header, it hit off Apostolos Stamatolopoulos, it dropped for Maswanise, he lobbed the ball over the Rangers defence. Stamatolopoulos somehow got in there before Proper and Sterling, and he slotted under Jack Butland, who had hesitated in coming for it. Motherwell celebrated, Rangers claimed for a handball. We're going back to when the ball initially hit Stamatolopoulos, but the goal stood. Rangers then had another really good chance. Ridvan Yilmaz played down to the byline, nice cross for Danilo's head. He had to generate some of the power himself, he didn't do that at all, and he didn't get anywhere near the target, flicked it well wide. Rangers never really settled in this game at all, and then 10 minutes before the break conceded a second. A ball in from the right fell to Tawanda Maswanise, a wonderful touch to turn inside, and a finish that nestled in the bottom corner. Wild scenes in the home end, but pure anger from those Rangers supporters over to my right, who cannot believe what they are seeing. They'll be demanding something different in the second half, but you wouldn't bet on them seeing it from that first half display. Poor decision making, a lack of quality at both ends, and a lack of ideas from Philip Clement's side. The half-time score here at Fir Park, Motherwell 2, Rangers 0.
An incredible story brewing there at Fir Park. So Motherwell leading at the break. Let's go around some of the other grounds, because it's been a busy Saturday afternoon. Let's go to Easter Road. Fraser Wishart.
Yeah, half-time here, Hibernian 1, Kilmarnock 0. A decent game in the wind. Hibs deservedly ahead at the break through Nectar Triantis header. But Kelly, not out of it. They've been positive when they've got the ball, but not created enough in the final third. A positive start by both sides. Kelly had an early spell of pressure, a number of good corners into the box, well defended by Hibs. Then in the 11th minute, an absolute sitter missed by Junior Hoylett. Josh Campbell won the ball in midfield. He sent Boyle free on the right hand side. His low cross went through a couple of defenders, but reached Hoylett 6 yards out, unmarked, completely missed, kicked, and the ball went by the back post. Kev Lascelles then had the first effort and target for Kelly. Really good space inside left of the penalty box, but he didn't connect with it cleanly, and an easy save for Jordan Smith. He should have done better, the Kilmarnock skipper. Nicky Cann then came close, 24th minute. Really good skill. He kept an awkward ball up in the air at the back post, and then hit a volley on the turn. It got deflected inches wide with Robbie McCrory absolutely beaten. But from that corner, Hibs did open the scoring. It was Nicky Cadden himself who stepped up in swinging corner with pace into the 6 yard box. Triantis run into the front post, headed home from just 4 yards out. Both the Canquins really dangerous. Chris Cadden on the right hand side put a number of low crosses into the 6 yard box, but no takers as it ran out on the far side. But an injury blow for Kelly on the half hour. Centre back Joe Wright limped off to place by Robbie Dees, but Kelly haven't really tested Jordan Smith enough, getting into good areas, especially down the left with Murray and Ndaba, but it's not led to any chances, and that's the question for Derek McInnes in the second half. How can he get his players to create more chances when they get into those good areas? David Gray knows he needs a second goal to give him a bit of comfort, but up front Boyle and Hoylett have been absolutely terrific for Hibernian. Half time Easter Road, Hibernian 1, Kilmarnock 0.
Also half time in Paisley, David Friel.
Half time, St Mirren 1, Dundee 1. Level at break, good game between these two again, but it's been a strange old half for Tony Docherty's Dundee. They didn't start really less. They then lost Billy Cometio and Jordan McGee, two defenders to injury in 22 minutes, both went off at the same time. Really bizarre scenes. St Mirren looked a lot bright, hadn't really tested Taylor Carson too much, but then suddenly after those enforced changes, Dundee just started creating chances. Simon Murray almost scored 25 minutes, he had a shot cleared off the lines. Adewumi raced through, he was twice denied by Ellery Balcom. He sensed a goal was coming for Dundee, then it arrived in 29 minutes. Great goal, Josh Mulligan down the right, stood up a lovely cross, and Simon Murray's bullet header flew past Balcom for his 10th goal of the season. St Mirren looked shocked at that point. Stephen Robinson pretty animated, but they regrouped and equalised in 40 minutes. Elvis Bilmono raced down the right, he picked out Tuyosi Olasanya. Great cross, great header, flew into the corner. So I'd say a draw's probably fair just now, but both will feel the game is there to be won. Half time, St Mirren 1, Dundee 1.
And last but not least, Dave Galloway has watched Ross County Hearts.
Half time, Gordon. Ross County 0, Hearts 1. A perfect start for Hearts, who swept into a second minute lead A fine through ball by Boyce sent Wilson charging through, and the youngster netted with a composed finish. Wilson almost got in again soon after that, but Wright made a timely tackle. Then only a brilliant reflex save from Amisa denied Wilson from close range after a really good run and cross by Penrice. Ross County were getting a really hard time of it at this stage, but they weathered the storm and came right back into things. Greaves' shot was blocked. Randall's low 25-yarder was well saved by Gordon, and the Staggies forced 3 corners in quick succession, which came to nothing. Then Hale last one well over from the edge of the box. County had got on top, but at the other end, Amisa looked very lively to beat away Forrester's effort from a tight angle. A good game so far in the pouring rain here in Dingwall. At the interval, Ross County 0, Hearts 1.
Taking your calls on Scottish football until 8. Clyde One Super Scoreboard. The Clyde One Super Scoreboard Podcast with Lookers Group. The Lookers Big Event from December 20th to January 20th. A good deal better.
Can't believe I'm about to get these gig tickets. I've been waiting forever to see them, and these guys are once in a lifetime.
How'd you manage that? What you want to do is pay in 3 with PayPal. There's no interest and no fees either. So go on then. Who is it? Manchester's finest, I presume?
Or no, I'm going with my niece to see the Groovy Gigglers. Absolute tunes.
Don't just pay. PayPal.
PayPal UK Limited. Pay in 3 is unregulated. Consider if affordable. Subject to status. See terms.
Cappuccino for Kristen.
Oh, sorry, mate. I've forgotten my card.
Oh, of course you have. 3rd time this week, just saying.
I'll get the next ones, promise.
No need.
Oh, thank you.
You can just send me £4.70 with your PayPal app. Be a double shot oat milk skinny caramel latte with extra foam.
Oh, don't forget my sprinkles.
Don't just pay. PayPal.
A PayPal account is required to send and receive money.
The Clyde One Super Scoreboard Podcast with Lookers Group. Great value used vehicles with extra peace of mind built in. The winning team all season long. This is Clyde One Super Scoreboard.
Huge day, a huge day in the Scottish Premiership, and it is half-time at the moment. Let's run through the scores, because it's been dramatic to say the least. Celtic 1, St Johnstone 0, Hibs 1, Kilmarnock 0, Motherwell 2, Rangers 0, Ross County 0, Hearts 1, and St Mirren 1, Dundee 1. That is all we need to know, because we've got no lower league games today. Just briefly, Andrew McLean, any signs of Rangers changes?
Yeah, just watching to see who's warming up at the moment. Václav Černý has just come out. He stayed a bit behind some of the ones that came out earlier on. The likes of Connor Barron, Ravi Matondo, Leon King and Ross McCausland were already out there. The players that haven't come out so far, in fact, one player that has just come out fully stripped and ready to go is Hamza Egaman, so he will definitely be one of the players that's going to come on. Just waiting to see. Nadim Barami hasn't been seen whatsoever during this warm-up, so you do wonder whether he's maybe another option. Václav Černý, possibility as well, because he's out there, he's not got a bib on like the rest of the substitutes. He's maybe doing a bit more of an intense running warm.
Oh, we've lost Andrew McLean. I think we got the gist of it in amongst there, the names that could be getting introduced here.
It's very straightforward. Philippe Clement needs 3 goals in the second half, because even a draw, if he scored twice and it was a draw, as things stand, he would still have gone even further behind Celtic with 13 points instead of 12. And Celtic with the possibility of going 16 ahead if they won at Ibrox. So he needs 3 goals. And the first half performance was shambolic. Back, middle, front, shambolic. And there were 2 chances, Danilo and Dessers, and they missed both. So Igamani is understandable. You've got to coax a goal out of him.
Hold on to turn his mic off while he opens those chocolates. Seriously, doing my head in. You alright over there with your celebrations? I can see that, and the nation can hear it. Sorry, Hugh, as you were.
For me, he needs 3 goals. 2 is insufficient. He needs to score 3 times. And if Motherwell score a 3rd goal before Rangers score, then we are days away from the possibility of a major situation arising at Ibrox, because if Rangers go into the match against Celtic 15 points behind and then lose it, Celtic have won the league at the halfway stage, and then the discussion is, what about Philippe Clement's job?
Sorry, Andrew, I think you can hear us. So that was Igaman definitely coming on, maybe some others.
Yeah, Hamza Igaman definitely coming on. Still waiting to see. He's been out there warming up with Václav Černý, who still has his training top on, so I'm not expecting that he will come on unless he's deciding just to take that off last minute. There is quite a strong wind that's passing through Fir Park at the moment, so maybe he's just keeping that on for now. But Hamza Igaman is over. He's with one of the Rangers coaches. He's getting the instructions to say who he'll pick up at set pieces. The clipboard's out. He's been shown that at the moment, so certainly Hamza Igaman. No Nadim Barami I've seen whatsoever at half time, so I'll wait and let you know whether he comes out the tunnel ready to go or not.
Can't believe I'm about to get these gig tickets. I've been waiting forever to see them, and these guys are once in a lifetime.
How'd you manage that? What you want to do is pay in 3 with PayPal. There's no interest and no fees either. So go on then. Who is it? Manchester's finest, I presume.
Or no, I'm going with my niece to see the groovy gigglers. Absolute tunes.
Don't just pay. PayPal.
PayPal UK Limited. Pay in 3 is unregulated. Consider if affordable. Subject to status. See terms.
It's game day, and this is the home of Scottish football. It's Clyde One Super Scoreboard.
Back underway in the 3 o'clock games, and we've got a goal already.
Goal flashes with M&D Green Pharmacy.
Just like they did at the start of the first half, Hearts have scored at the start of the second, and it's a double for young James Wilson. It's a superb cross, arguably Hearts' best player this season, James Penrice. Great cross, good header. Ross County are 2-0 down at home to Hearts.
Who needs Lon Shankland? Hearts don't have him today, and James Wilson, teenager. Good week for teenagers, because we've had the 2 at St Mirren in the win over Rangers. We had 3 academy players on for Kilmarnock because they beat Aberdeen 4-0, and here we have James Wilson taking the mantle.
Yeah, good start for Hearts. We're underway in all the other games. So Motherwell 2, Rangers 0, the big half-time score, Gordon, but Rangers have made those changes.
Yeah, they had to make
some. Hold your thoughts. Right, hold on. Is it not? It's an offside check. We thought there was a goal at Celtic Park. The ball goes in, the flag goes up, so we'll do the old check and then I'll wait on the button. Anyway, the Rangers changes.
Yeah, Igaman's come on, Černy's come on, the guys that suffer, Dessers and Dowell. I've got to say, I think Cortez is very lucky to still be in the pitch, but you could say that about a few of them. He's going to go 4 up top. He's certainly going to try and get back in this game. Next goal's so important. If Motherwell can get it, the game's put to bed. There's no way back for Rangers, but Rangers are really going to try and go in the front foot, put a bit of pressure on, but they need a bit more quality.
Blow for Motherwell though, because Apostolos Stamatolopoulos, who was a real focal point, scored the first goal, was a bit of a battering ram. He's had to go off. We saw that injury picked up at the end of the half and been replaced by Tony Watt. So that's a blow for Stuart Kettlewell.
Well, it certainly is, because from an attacking point of view, they had Rangers on the ropes for large periods.
No goal Celtic. Sorry, Mark, on you go.
Yeah, but Tony Watt will just have to come on, do a similar shift. But just first opening there for Igaman, showing what he is. He's unpredictable. He just tries to wrap his boot round it, just goes past the post. But that's right, Rangers obviously going to go for it with 4 up top.
Oh, they need something to get back in the game. But you get back to that substitution, yes, it's a big blow for Motherwell, but I think Tony can come on and do that for 45 minutes. Experienced guy, can get you a goal, he can upset centre halves, and you can see this afternoon Rangers centre halves can be upset.
Well, Igamani showing that the tactic is shoot on sight. As soon as you see the whites of the goalkeeper's eyes, shoot, because as I say, Philippe Clement needs 3 goals. 2 will not be enough.
Seeing you're 2 down though, how difficult is it to find the balance between that and, clear judgment and a bit of composure? Because I think Rangers almost took on shots that they shouldn't have taken on at the end of the first half, Gordon.
Yeah, but look, you're desperate to get back into the game. I think there's slight bit of wind at Fir Park going down the way the favour of Rangers. We've seen it in the first half with Motherwell. He's quite right to take the shot on. He wasn't that far away. And I think that they just need a goal. They need something. They need a lifeline to kick them in to gear and give them a bit of hope. And if you're Motherwell, you're sitting there thinking, right, same again. I'd be very disappointed if Motherwell went back and back and back. I know Rangers are going to come into the game. I know they've got good players, and we always say that. But You got success being on the front foot. I would stick to that game plan for
St
me.
Johnstone Corner at Celtic Park. We have said this many times before, though, Mark. Sometimes it's not a choice. You know, Stuart Kettlewell probably hasn't said to his players, or won't say, right guys, just get out. Hold on, chance Rangers, hits the post, comes back, goal for Park.
Goal flashes with M&D Green Pharmacy.
And one of the changes has worked. It's Hamza Igiman. An immediate response from Rangers. Motherwell 2, Rangers 1, and very much game on.
Yeah, it's now a case of whether Motherwell just lose the plot now. Sometimes there's a pressure in being a couple of goals ahead.
No, it would need to be. It's from the initial shot. The only thing would be if he was nasty in Oxborough's way, Oscar Cortez.
I don't think he is.
Maybe even in the second one, though. He has to jump over it. But saying that, there's a player back on the line. So I think that one's going to be fine.
It's a good finish, I've got to say. Terrific finish.
Yeah.
You're talking about shoot on target. He's just unleashed that. His goalkeeper, not a chance, brings Rangers right back into this game.
Motherwell will rock now. They did it at Celtic Park. Second half fell apart, and they are checking the goal. Kevin Clancy, the referee, waiting for word from Clydesdale House. But if it's allowed to stand, Motherwell will be rocking on their heels.
Penalty Hearts, the chance to take a 3-0 lead at a venue where very few people win up there in Dingwall. Would James Wilson take it? Would he get a hat-trick?
Surely give it to the young man.
Quite something. Goal stands for Rangers, so they are very much back in this. And what will the next... Because Gordon, we said privately at half-time, we didn't think this one was over.
Yeah.
You kind of look at that first 15 minutes even of the second half. Can you see it out? Motherwell have conceded before the first 5 minutes are out.
Yeah, it's a blow, but it's a great response from obviously what the Rangers manager said, and obviously did at half time. He decided to make those substitutions. It's paid dividends for him right away. And if you're a Rangers manager, your only hope was to say, get back in this game quickly. And they've done that, they've achieved that. Now they're firmly in a chance of getting something out of this game at Fir Park.
Just double checking that Hearts penalty. So it was a challenge from Ifeti on Penrice, but there is a check ongoing. Wilson is going to take it if it stands, so a chance for the young man to score a hat-trick. Go and get the stats books looked out. Where is he going to rank in terms of youngest Premiership hat-trick scorers, if he can score?
And what happens next then when Shankland's back fit? You drop a guy to score a hat-trick if he converts
Well,
this?
he's been playing as well as Shankland, to be fair, but certainly would be a bit different.
That only goal of the game's not looking very good now.
No,
I meant the only goal scorer of the game.
Refs going to the screen, so that would suggest, although Chris Graham has shown that just because you go to the monitor doesn't mean you overturn your decision. Do you see Chris Graham was involved yesterday? Have you heard about this?
Yeah, sent off Scott Allen.
He sent off our own Scott Allen. He was doing the Kelty game after the Kilmarnock debacle at Motherwell, and Scott Allen came on as a sub. Oh, that's a heavy challenge from Lennon Miller.
No, there's nothing in that.
I thought it was over the top of the ball, I have to say. The booking will be fine. That won't get looked at again.
And I've got to say, Gordon, you're talking about that, Rick. I had a look at that today.
The red card on Scott Allen.
Is this guy just red card happy? You know, is that a red card? To be fair, I've got to say, have you
I
seen
didn't see
Mark?
it, no.
Oh, Mark.
Soft.
I think maybe Scott Allen said something about Chris Graham on.
Lennon Miller in a bit of trouble here.
I don't.
Yeah, I told you when
Cortez's boot.
I told you the first time I had a look at it. He does land on the ankle.
He's stretching.
It's not got that huge force. He's sort of next to Cortez when he rocks over the ball.
Is there anything Lennon Miller can do differently there, in your opinion?
No penalty for Hearts. It's not. You know what it's like now, though. The standards are just different, and if you connect sometimes above the ankle. Yep, referee's going to the screen. Lennon Miller could be getting a straight red card here for Motherwell.
Going wrong for Motherwell.
And it is all going wrong. He can't believe it.
I mean, he does make a genuine attempt to play the ball. Cortez nicks it away. He catches Cortez on the ankles, no doubt about it. And back to when I played, never mind when Daz played, that is a yellow card all day long. However, we're looking at things, we're analysing time and time again. Is it reckless? Is it endangering an opponent?
Is he going to screen or is he just over?
Yeah, no, he is.
Oh, is he? Okay.
Yeah, I think he's over.
I know he's booted.
Stuart Kettlewell is furious because he knows Stuart Kettlewell knows what's coming here, so that's why. I think, when you get connection in the ankle. Oh no, he's not, is he?
I told you,
no,
he just went over to book the assistant manager.
Right, okay, he's not going over to the monitor, or he's back on the pitch for now, certainly. Is the referee?
I'm sorry. I think that's the right decision. I
think a yellow card. Lennon Miller stays on the pitch.
I never thought for a minute that should have been a red card, I've got to say.
But got another one of these.
Goal flashes with M&D Green Pharmacy.
Celtic have doubled their advantage. Celtic 2, St Johnstone 0. It's a Kyogo header, and the 3 points looking comfortable now. At the other game, Aston Oxford had to make a save to keep Motherwell in front, but it was a nice pass from Hatate initially. There was a shot saved, and then Kyogo was just there, easy. Stoops, nods it in from about 2 yards. Celtic 2-0 up.
Could do with that Kyogo, you know, going through his longest spell, I think, of the year without a goal. So he could certainly do it, but in this game we're watching, it's certainly not over, is it? Rangers throwing everything at it. Tierney just going near post there. Decent enough save from the Motherwell goalie, but Motherwell find it difficult.
The Motherwell just need to calm themselves down a bit, Gordon.
Yeah, but
hold on, Varcek now in that Kyogo goal as well.
All right.
So this would be Celtic's second ruled out. The first one was a really easy offside. Goal given. There we go.
Yeah, it's easier said than done with Motherwell, Gordon, because Rangers have come out. They've taken a rocking, obviously, from the manager. A couple of changes.
Tony Watt on the left foot, parry by Butland. Good chance, Motherwell corner.
Yeah. Motherwell need another goal here. No doubt. I would imagine Rangers, I can't see this scoring finishing at 2-1, but Rangers have come out and responded, so give them credit for that. Substitutions made a bit of a difference, put Motherwell under a bit of pressure, got that goal. It's up to Motherwell to show a bit of character now. Rangers have certainly shown that in the second half so far.
The goal being so early, less than 5 minutes into the second half, that's what's caused this ripple effect. The Motherwell players.
Stuart Kettlewell, I think, is in bother now. He often is.
Yeah.
Kevin Clancy's coming back over to the dugout. He's sent off Stuart Kettlewell. Yep. He's had his fill recently because he's unhappy with the Dan Casey one. He was furious about the Yang penalty. He does get quite caught up in it, and he's been sent off the Motherwell boss.
Well, for me, that's a lack of self-control on the part of the manager.
What's he moaning about? I don't see anything. They've got a corner kick. I don't see anything that he has to moan about there.
No. But he's always on about referees. It's his favourite topic. He always says he's fed up talking about them, but never stops talking about them, and that's a lack of self-control, and he's got what he deserves.
What was your last thing you said before the players went out the dressing room door?
Don't panic.
Don't lose an early goal.
He was in the stand just the other week, was he not?
Yeah.
Last week, yeah.
For a ban, so
well, he can't keep himself in check.
That's a great ball.
Free kick. Goalies, protected species, as they say.
By the way, Butland's punched that into his own net there.
The ball ends up in the net. It would have been 3-1 to Motherwell, but referee Kevin Clancy says foul on Butland.
That is a case of the goalkeepers are well protected. He's not strong enough, the goalkeeper. Tony Watt.
No,
I'll tell you what.
Sorry. They have to have a look at that. He pushes Tony Watt.
They are going to check it. Tony Watt does very little
he's
wrong.
Done nothing there.
That's a
very
goal.
little wrong. Let's take another look at it.
You cannot keep protecting goalkeepers like that.
There is no way that should be disallowed.
VAR is going to have a look because Jack Butland punched that into his own net.
Yeah,
under pressure from Tony Watt, but
goalkeepers are entitled to be put under pressure from corner kicks. He's just simply not been strong enough, and he's put it into his own goal.
It's a ridiculous decision, because if you're going to penalise Tony Watt, then penalise Jack Butland for pushing Tony Watt as well.
I mean, Tony Watt's arm is on his shoulder, but is that enough?
No, not for me.
Big moment. This is a big moment in the game, and maybe even the season. You never know. Tony Watt. It would be an own goal from Jack Butland. It wouldn't be Tony Watt's goal. He punches it into his own net. He looks nervous. The Rangers
I think
keeper.
He does know himself.
I think
he's
he knows.
Soft. He's not. He's soft. Listen, referees and VAR have got to take a strong stance in this. Goalkeeper's got away too easily, and he's given.
That's incredible.
It is. It's terrible.
It is incredible.
You know what?
Hold on.
He's going over, is he? He's not. No, he's running backwards.
Play on. That's remarkable.
Yeah,
we talk about the standards of our referees, Gordon. That is dreadful. That VAR, and then he's not even been called over to the screen to have a look at that. A ridiculous decision, and Jack Butland is the luckiest player inside Fir Park at the minute, and it highlights how poor he's been this season. It's another mistake from him, but he's got away with it, so it's a bit of luck for Philippe Clement. Yeah,
a big piece of luck for Philippe Clement, because
when will because it's, to be fair, it's not as if it's just here at Fir Park. When will world football stop doing this when it comes to goalkeepers? Because nobody likes it. Nobody thinks.
We're watching it again here going.
So he's pushing Tony Watt.
I'm sorry,
there's no way that should be disallowed. Can show us it another 100 times.
The only excuse they'll have is Tony Watt's hands on it, but it's not enough on the shoulder, Butland.
And then you've got the clear and obvious error type thing, I guess, or no, maybe not actually, because it's just a goal. I suppose you're looking to try and
I just
come
think
to the right
goalkeepers
decision.
get it too easy. I really do. I think they get it too easy.
I would though be worried about Jack Butland against Celtic at Ibrox.
Hold on.
Goal flashes with M&D Green Pharmacy.
It won't be Tony Watt he'll have to worry about on Tuesday. It will be Kyogo. He scored another, and Celtic have taken a 3-0 lead. I think it was a cross from the right hand side. Kyogo just steals in, left-footed finish, low into the middle of the goal. Really, Josh Ray couldn't do much about it. It's a nice ball into the box from Arnie Engels. Just wraps his right foot around it, and Celtic cruise control.
Well, Kyogo's had his fun with Jack Butland before at Ibrox. Beat him from distance, scored the only goal of the Derby win there. And Jack Butland, as I say, if Rangers are a strong alternative, he might not start at Ibrox.
He has had a poor season, but for Kyogo, he does like playing against St Johnstone. He quite often scores and, you know, assists in that fixture.
What's up?
Red card.
I'll go Celtic.
Come on, Mark. Come on.
Oh,
Mark.
no,
You should
no
know
way.
by now.
Joe Wright
off.
No, Joe Wright, please.
No. It's Danny Armstrong, and it's Derek McInnes's least favourite because it's 2 yellows. A bit harsh, says Fraser. He's just tried to go for the ball in the 6-yard box, and Derek McInnes hates these ones because he'll have a problem with one of the bookings.
Yeah,
Derek McInnes. That tends to be the way it's gone this season, and I'm sure he'll be not too impressed. But anyway, Killard down to 10 men.
Is it still 1-0 there at Easter Road?
It is.
That'd be another good result
How
for
many
him.
is that now? Is that 8? 8
so,
red
yeah,
cards?
so.
Yeah,
for Kilmarnock?
because you got beat the pundit the last time.
Yeah,
Before the new year.
You went 7.
Before the new year. It's remarkable. And I know I get it, and Derek McInnes thinks, I think at last count he thinks only 2 have been justified, something like that.
Just shows you all that hard work and discipline and training is working for him.
He's having a difficult old season, Derek McInnes. He'll get a decent performance followed by a frustrating one. If it's not guys coming off injured, it's guys getting sent off for him.
I wonder if Stuart Kettlewell was up in the stand before getting a chance to see the.
Oh, that would have been good, Hugh, if he was on the touchline still for that.
Well,
what is he saying?
I think being kept away from microphones after the game might be ideal for Stuart Kettlewell. So, because once he sees that back, he will be besides himself.
I can't believe how big a break it is for Rangers. You know.
Oh, good ball.
Yeah, chance Motherwell, but headed. And it's come back. What's happened here? Incredible! It's in the back of the net. It's
the goalkeeper again.
Oh my goodness!
With M&D Green Pharmacy.
Motherwell 3, Rangers 1. I thought the ball had gone out of play. Tony Watt doesn't look too sure, but Jack Butland stares at the ground. Motherwell 3, Rangers 1. And if there is nothing untoward, that is an extremely bad mistake.
Hold on.
From the goalkeeper. Is there an offside in the build-up?
Yes.
No, hold on. It depends which one it is. So somebody might be offside.
Yeah,
I think he's off.
away with it.
He's going to get away with it. Tony Watt, he puts it into the back of the net. I think the initial header is going to be offside on this one.
But Jack Butland doesn't know that. The ball's going over the bar, and is it clipped the bar or is it Butland?
It clips the bar, but it's Dan Casey, I think, with that initial header. I think this is going to be an issue for Motherwell.
Do you know something?
What a game this is.
I can't believe I'm saying this. I would sub him.
Yeah.
I would bring on Kelly.
They're going to get away with it as offside.
Well, it's hard to know without the lines, but it certainly looks. I can't really see a way that it wouldn't be, unless the camera angle is misleading.
Tavernier's the last man. He's got his hand up, and it will be offside.
If I was Brendan Rodgers, I'd be hoping that Butland played.
You put the ball into that Rangers box, anything can happen this afternoon.
He's just the camera went right on him there, right?
Butland looks utterly dejected. He's just staring at the ground, but he's going to get away with this, I think.
This is a goalkeeper that everybody, when he signed with Rangers, loved the way he played. Everybody should be the captain. He's having a worse day than I've.
Hold on.
It's not a goal.
No.
Goal flashes with M&D Green Pharmacy.
Dundee have taken the lead in Paisley, and it's Simon Murray again. So Dundee 2-1 up against St Mirren, which might be a shock on the cards. It's another header. Referee's going to the screen looking for a Ross County penalty this time as well, so that probably will be given. And yet that Motherwell goal does not stand. No, he can't go for a look. It's just offside. A factual decision, as they say. Motherwell 2, Rangers 1, as you were. Rangers are somehow still in this.
Butland is one lucky guy today.
Yeah.
He's been...
There's Cortez off.
Yeah, listen...
he's the only one that's been as bad as Butland.
Yeah, I've a bit of feel for him, Mark. He's not played a lot of football, and he come into that, and the way Rangers have performed today, it's always got to be difficult. But Jack Butland for me is a major concern. I've never seen a look in a goalkeeper that has no confidence whatsoever. If I was Motherwell, I'd put everything on top of him.
Just when you see the offside again, he is offside, no doubt about it. But it shows you how disjointed Rangers' line is. You know, because you all have to try and move in unison at a set piece like that, and you see them all scattered, and it's Tavernier who's the last man, the captain, who should be keeping his line up. But it kind of highlights all the problems at Rangers. Everything is disjointed, and they're lucky to be still in this game.
Yeah. Well, there'll be no shortage of talking points at 5 o'clock when the line's open, that's for sure.
Well, this could be a real problem for Motherwell, because Lennon Miller has been down for a while previously, got back up, played on. He's now down again. He's holding the ankle. Remember, Stamatopoulos already going off for Motherwell at half time. So I think this could be a real
Who's
worry.
your options, Gordon? Who've they got? Who would come in there?
Depends if you could reshuffle things around, but Tom Sparrow looks like he's the man who's going to come on.
Good for a goal.
Most like for like, but nothing's like for like, really, is it? And by the way, Motherwell and maybe various other people out there, who knows, will be hoping it's not a serious one for Lennon Miller with the transfer window opening.
Can I just throw in something? Has the captaincy been good for him or bad?
I think it's quite easy to lean either way, isn't it? It's like when you don't win games, people say they should never have given him the captaincy, and then when you do,
I think
he's been quiet as well, Hugh.
Yeah,
I don't think you're wrong, but also Motherwell don't have a lot of the ball. Whether he's the captain or he's not, you know, you're hoping he has the ball a lot and does things with it. It's a team that even at home gets like 30% possession at times, so I'm not sure it's all down to him having the captaincy. But
I don't get caught up with that.
Motherwell,
the greatest captains are the quiet ones, Gordon.
Are they?
The leaders. That's the way I used to go about my business. Just I led by example.
Callum McGregor, Dyson Maida and Adam Ida all on. Kyogo, Kunin, Engels off, but Celtic 3-0 up. This is going just exactly how it was meant to, where Celtic get comfortable, they give players the chance to start, they give other players some minutes to tick them over. That's the way it was meant to be for them.
They go about the business in a positive fashion. Rangers now have the big task of scoring another 2 goals. Motherwell having 2 goals chalked off. So as I say, no shortage of talking points and a chance.
Oh, it's a goal.
Yeah, we've got a goal at Fir Park.
Goal flashes with M&D Green Pharmacy.
And we're level. Motherwell 2, Rangers 2. It's Hamza Egaman again. What a substitution he's been at half time. It's actually been such a disjointed second half. It's been all the drama around Jack Butland's goal, but Rangers have popped up with that equaliser, and it's a moment of quality that they've been lacking up until now. It's the first attack we've seen in a while, but into Egaman, turns on his right foot, curls a lovely ball into the bottom corner.
That's a great finish, I've got to say, from the centre forward. But we diluted the Rangers defend in the first half. Have a look at centre back. He cannot back off there, and he's just opened his body up. He's looked at the far post. Brilliant finish from Egaman.
He's been a one bit of quality, and fair play to the manager. He brought him on at half time. The argument would be, should he have started with him in a game of this importance? But nevertheless, he's come on. He's had one shot just flash by. He's had another good finish, and that's a terrific goal. Brilliantly curled in to the back post, just like Maswinissi's. And would you bet against Rangers now going on and winning this extraordinary game of football?
I would put my house on Rangers winning this game.
I don't think we're finished with the scoring with these two.
No.
Motherwell just of course Rangers have made the substitution. and as Raskin there has a shot, and it's paid dividends, and obviously they've come out, response second half, well done to them. You've got to give them credit for that. In the other sense, Motherwell have been a shadow of the team in the first half. They were at Rangers, they were pressing them.
I feel like the game's that different.
No, I think they've let Rangers sort of.
Motherwell have had two. Listen, I'm not even saying they were mistakes, but they've had the ball in the net.
Big moments,
twice.
Big moments. Tony Watt's goal, big moments. And you look at this Rangers side now, and I agree with you. If anybody's got to win it, it's got to be Rangers.
I think that's a separate argument. I just don't think it's been that different from the first half. And like you say, Motherwell had the ball in the net twice, so it's not like they've sat back.
I know, but I don't think Rangers have looked a threat until the second. We've got another chance here.
There's bodies falling everywhere in the penalty box, and this might be it as Czerny comes left-footed and it's away for a corner.
We've now got a exciting game, eh?
It's incredible in both boxes. I mean, you put the ball in there, you think it's going to be a goal any second now. Motherwell actually do really well to defend that. Don't know who it is in the middle there who throws his body in the line, but the ball just wouldn't settle there for any Rangers player. Eventually comes back to Czerny and he's kind of blocked out. But a corner kick, this is going to go right on top of Hawksborough, you would have to imagine.
Goal flashes with M&D Green Pharmacy.
Goal for Celtic. It's Daisen Maeda slipped through and he makes no mistake. There's a possible penalty now for Rangers. It's in that same incident. I did wonder, someone went to ground, so VAR's having a word with Kevin Clancy. Celtic home and hosed, I think they were already, but Daisen Maeda scores. It's his 14th of the season. He's keeping up with Nicholas Kuhn. This has been an incredible day of VAR nonsense at Fir Park, and we might not be done with it yet. I think play on. Is he?
Fine. Yep, play on.
Not sure.
Yeah, corner kick's coming in.
No penalty. So on we go. Hatate and Alistair Johnson off. Ralston and McCowan on for Celtic. Mark, like we said, it's just very straightforward. Is that the right word for Celtic at home?
Yeah, and the two fixtures were kind to them, of course, but you still need to go there and win them comfortably, which they've done. The only nitpick you would have with Celtic is maybe today would have been good to see a couple of young players on that bench. Do you really need to bring McGregor on for minutes? Do you really need to bring Maeda on for minutes? That is the only nitpick. But for the guys that are there on the pitch and doing it week after week, they're relentless at the minute. And it's a big worry for Philippe Clement and Rangers when they come to Ibrox in a couple of days' time. Yeah,
Celtic had another chance with a cross that just evaded everyone. But clearly it's just a matter of how many now. What's the appetite like? It's still about 20 or so to go. Celtic could rack up a proper scoreline here, Hugh.
Yeah, we got 4 on Saturday, or Thursday rather, and now another 4. So they're ticking over. The whole psychological effect that will be determined by if Rangers get a third goal, because a draw psychologically, Celtic would then be 13 points. Goal difference makes it 14. Here's a chance.
It's cleared off the line by Motherwell. Motherwell are all over the place now. They know that they're under the cosh. But great defending from Ewan Wilson.
I know they've been unlucky, and I know that we all believe that Tony Watt got a goal that would have gone down as a Jack Butland own goal, but their bottles crashing all over the place here.
Yeah, but
there's not just an inevitability about that. We said it at half time. Once the so-called big team scores one, you just know the tide turns.
Yeah, we were talking off air and said this game's not finished yet. Look, you've got to, as much as we had a real go at Rangers in the first half, deservedly so, you've got to give them credit. They've come out in the second half, they look better, their changes look better, they look sharper, they're causing Motherwell all sorts of problems, and they look like a team that's going to go on and win this game.
Do you think it is mostly an intensity thing? Because I'm looking at the way Rangers are. Hold on, as that corner comes in, it's not like they're now cutting Motherwell open. It's just that the balls into the box are now working. Do you know what I mean, Mark? Like in the first half, balls into the box were going nowhere. But it's more like they've just upped everything and it's all coming together.
Yeah, and like sometimes that just happens in a game. Just it swings, and when you're defending a lead, you find it more difficult to start clearing things cleanly. I think that's been the case from a Motherwell point of view. But Rangers, you've got to take your opportunities when you got them. There are a couple in the first half that they passed up, but Iggeman's had 2 and he's taken 2. And Czerny,
and by the way, the second goal with the third one. The second goal's not really a chance. Credit to Iggeman, by the way, for that is what I mean. You know, that's
But
they don't always end up in the back
what
of the
he can
net.
give you.
That's what I mean. It's brilliant for him.
Yeah.
Double change in midfield for Motherwell. I think it will be Andy Halliday. Just rest him up for tomorrow's Clyde One Super Scoreboard if you can. He's certainly no rush to get off. He's pretending he doesn't hear the ref. That's good. That's what you should do.
Can't believe it.
Harry Payton and Andy Halliday off. Davor and Sam Nicholson on.
Gives them a bit of fresh legs in the middle of the park, you've got to say. I think they need that just now. They're under the coach a little bit. They need to try and get up with the park. Tony Watt done well just a couple of minutes ago, try to hold the ball up, but he needs a bit more support. So a bit of fresh legs there. I'm not surprised with the substitutions.
What's he delivering to somebody? Is that an energy pouch or something like that?
Yeah, I think so. Motherwell look like they need one.
Should have brought a barrel one, didn't he?
Well, the second half, so much controversy, you really have to get it right in your mind. That Motherwell, the second goal that was disallowed was offside.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
There's no contention there. But the Tony Watt, Jack Butland moment, for the life of us here, none of us can understand why that goal was chalked off.
I do think maybe once the initial foul is given, are you going to overturn it when you can see Tony Watt's arm is on Jack Butland? So maybe that's the get out. But at some point everyone should get together and not really worry about whose team was affected and not, and just agree that on the field then the ref doesn't need to do that. Because then ultimately if the goal stands in the first place, VAR will look at it, and then if VAR thinks that there's an issue on Jack Butland, it can disallow it. But I think everybody agrees goalies just get a bit too much.
Referees are just hardwired, to think if a goalkeeper goes down the box, there must be something untowards, rather than they've just had an absolute howler. And you're right, he gives it so quick that.
Because again, this shouldn't be.
Oh, what a ball!
This shouldn't. I need to be consistent. I always say it shouldn't be up to players. But did Jack Butland look like a guy that had been wronged, or a guy that thought he'd made a mess of it?
He looked like a guy who thought he'd made a complete mess of it.
Staring at the ground for a couple of minutes, devastated.
Probably hoping that somebody bailed him out, and he was very lucky that the referee and VAR accepted the invitation.
I wonder what the conversation will be like with the whoever it is, sports scientist or whoever that said Iggaman shouldn't start the game. Because what if he hadn't? What if he hadn't come on and turned this around? And
well,
that
was the point I was making. That if you're in a position like Philip, come on, you really need a team to get you through. 3 points, it's a must to save your career. Do you really start with that team that you put out, or do you start with the guys that are on form and get every chance? Now if they go on and win this, you'll say, well, there you are, it was the right decision. But they could easily lose it as well.
To make something happen, but I don't know if they quite chose the right issue. Tony Watt goes down in the box, but that's nothing.
That's too soft, Tony Watt.
Nothing to be done there.
Got to be strong.
He went down like me just now. In instalments.
Yeah, but he didn't have a ring this one.
Here goes Rabbi Matondo, who I hadn't noticed.
I forgot
for Cortez,
but he tries to do the old one. Remember, against Celtic, he cut in and fired it, but it got blocked on this occasion. So we've not seen a lot of him recently. So Rangers fans will be hoping he can get some game time, some freshness, try and start adding something to an area that does look like it's lacking. Fair play to Tony Watt, because he holds it in when there's very little. Who is offside for Motherwell that cannot move here and just doting around.
Tony Watt done brilliantly there, because he just looked at all his teammates thinking, they're not going to run forward for me.
I think that's where the difference is. Second half, I think the first half they plenty of runners.
Is that because they're knackered though?
Yeah, but he's made many substitutions. He made
whoever it was. Let's see it back. There's somebody who's standing in an offside and is too tired to even get
right. There's 3 substitutions been made in the middle of the park and up front. So if they need to get runners up the park to help, Tony Watt held the ball in well there.
Yeah, Motherwell a good bit off where they were in that first half, but then Rangers have upped their level as well, and it is 2-2 at the moment. Motherwell are in behind here. Yilmaz makes a mess of it, but it's just scuffed wide because again, no one really up in support of Sam Nicholson. But that would be a worry for Rangers, how easy that was.
Well, you've seen it at St Mirren, how easy it was. Root one ball from the goalkeeper, pretty similar there. Allow it to bounce, and Yilmaz is always in trouble. It's just too wide from Nicholson. He doesn't connect well with it, but it's an opportunity again, and nothing when Rangers are in the ascendancy.
Marvin Coletta is the latest one down from Motherwell. I suppose they at least have an obvious replacement in Stephen O'Donnell on the bench.
Yeah,
and even Paul McGinn, by the way, is back on the bench, which is a huge boost for Motherwell. He's been out for ages.
Yeah, great to see him back. That'd be just probably a straight swap with O'Donnell coming on there. Bags of experience, Stephen. So
are the Rangers fans fooled by this?
I don't think anybody's fooled by this, Hugh. I think if you look at this and you think, right, okay, if they can get out of here with 3 points, which they possibly could, I think when you analyse it, you know it's not anywhere near where you want to be.
Yeah, Coletta just showing the signs of something a bit uncomfortable. So I think he might be the next one to go off. And if Motherwell can't hold on and get anything here, and then you count the cost of Lennon Miller going off and Marvin Coletta going off and Stamatopoulos going off, it could turn out to be a pretty bad afternoon for Motherwell, despite it starting so well.
Well, we got 10 minutes of regulation time.
Oh, there'll be loads added on here.
Yeah, another 7 or 8 on top of that.
At least, because we've had the VAR check for Jack Butland, the VAR check for the offside, injury to Lennon Miller, injury to Coletta now, substitutions. Yeah, this is
Motherwell physically there, just having a conversation with somebody in the front row. I like that.
David Henderson.
Just telling them he's injured, he's off.
Yeah, he was a good lad. Looks
instant
after me,
feedback.
David.
The physio looks after you.
Yeah.
What did you see the physio of it?
My hip. Remember, I got a new hip.
By the way, Motherwell with the
surprised
perfect opportunity to just go like for like and put Stephen O'Donnell on, have put on Moses Abie, who is a striker. That's interesting.
Change the shape at the back. Maybe
Just
go to back 4.
Move Masmanisi over. No.
Yeah, maybe go to back 4.
Flashes with M&D Green Pharmacy.
It's Liam Boyce. He hasn't scored many recently for Hearts, and what a place to do it on his return to Dingwall. And Hearts having a very comfortable afternoon. It's a tap in, Spittle's free kick, hit the bar. Another former Ross County man, and there was Liam Boyce with the finish.
How do you figure Ross County? 3-0 winners in Dundee, 3-0 losers at home.
What did I say at the beginning of the show, Hugh? What Ross County team turns up?
Yeah.
You never know. It must be frustrating if you're a Ross County manager.
Sam Nicholson's the right wing back for Motherwell, and Moses Abie is going on, so it's a very attacking
he's
team for
kept
Motherwell. Very attacking now, you'd have to say. But anyway, Hearts 3-0 up in Dingwall also. VAR check for a possible offside. So maybe not, but we'll wait and see. Cherney goes down the right hand side, crosses one, and it's over the bar from Igaman. No, it was Matondo, sorry, round the back.
Do you not think that was a hard one to take?
Yes.
The pace that comes over it.
I think it's a great ball, mate. Honestly, I think that's a good. No, come on.
That's a hard chance.
I think it's just behind him, to be fair to Matondo. I think it's just behind him. I think the ball is decent, but I actually think the wind catches it. There's that much power in it.
It comes at him quite quick in the end. Oh, listen, it's a chance, but we're not anywhere near Sitter territory.
I didn't say Sitter, I thought it was a chance. I'm going down the chance.
Okay, look, McCowan came up, no goal for Hearts. So that's a couple they've had. Oh no, it was a penalty overturned, wasn't it? So still 2-0 to Hearts. Struggling to keep up, I have to say.
In this game, it's hard to judge which way the wind's actually blowing.
It's just swirling right round, Andrew says. Yep.
Sometimes I think Rangers have got the wind. That's how they've managed to drag themselves back in the game. But any goal kick is going right over the Rangers' back line, and it's Motherwell's best opportunity to get in behind them.
You'd be looking for some sort of response later on if you were St Mirren, Hugh. Is that fair?
Well, the problem of beating Rangers and then, like Motherwell, you get caught up in it all. Motherwell 2 up. They didn't do the right thing at half time. They conceded too early, and St Mirren are not yet out of the Thursday night party mode.
They're the only one that's letting the ACA down, Hugh, for me so far.
Yeah.
Everything else,
I've got it up so far.
Really?
Oh no, I didn't have Rangers, sorry.
Great. So
you had a draw then. You said a draw.
Rangers.
The same as me, yeah.
Did I?
Yeah.
Oh, I've got it up there because I've got Dundee as well.
Great shout that.
Yilmaz is going to try and bend one in. It's not bad, but Motherwell defend it. As you suspect, they might have to do quite a lot between now and the end of this one, whenever that may be, because I don't think we're even close to finish. Despite the scoreboard saying 84, we're going to have a good old bit of mileage left here as Cherney goes towards the box. He can't quite wriggle free, but Motherwell can't really get out.
Don't go back there.
There's been so many
good play.
Yeah.
Wilson does brilliantly.
Been a lot of times that Rangers players are just inches away from getting a touch on the ball, and you think Motherwell players throwing their bodies on the line, you're always in danger of giving away a penalty.
It's amazing how games swing. You look at that Motherwell team 2-0 up, must have been full of confidence, thinking another one gets us a good victory this afternoon. They're now looking at thinking a point is brilliant.
It's just timing, isn't it? See that Igimani goal, if you even move it back 15 minutes, the first one, it's just, I've seen this a million times. If you're leading, even if Motherwell were 3-0 up at half time and Rangers score within the first 5 minutes, you start to panic. That's just the way it works. I've seen it many times, unfortunately. If you're a home fan, Motherwell 2, Rangers 2 then, 85, Celtic cruising 4-0 up, St Mirren 1, Dundee 2, one of the surprise results of the day perhaps. Hibs still just 1, is it?
Yeah,
against
still 1.
Killie down to 10, Mendo, Ross County 0, Hearts 2. I think Hearts have scored a third a few times, but been ruled out or whatever. I'm struggling to keep up with events in Dingwall.
It's been a great day of football all across the country. So much controversy, VR checks.
Sam Nicholson very nearly slid one through there, but he was just crowded out in the end. Now Rangers look to go on the attack.
I think Czerny's certainly made a difference when he's been on. I know Agimani scores both goals, but Czerny's looked dangerous, always cutting in that left foot.
Yeah, this could be an issue for Motherwell, because Matondo is just going to try and run into the box, and he's hard to catch, and Motherwell don't clear it in that zone where you can't quite put a foot in case someone goes down. And it's quite scrappy out there, to say the least. Is Motherwell going to be clinging on for dear life in the closing stages? It would be hard to imagine them doing too much attacking. Although St Mirren managed it the other night. I suppose when you were expecting Rangers to go on and get the winner, it was St Mirren that did it. But this Motherwell team do look like they've lost a fair bit of the energy that they had early on.
Yeah, I think they're just trying to run down the clock. It's going to be a long 5+, 6+ minutes.
Good tackle, Tony Watt. And he's just going to try.
I think he's done well since he come on. I really do.
It's got to be a booting.
I think he's battled away.
Great strength from Tony Watt. Against Dujon. Sterling draws a foul and Sterling gets booked.
He's done all right. He's done okay, Tony, since he come on.
Good little touch away. He knows he's been fouled there, but Sterling gives him another pull back just to make sure. But it shows you the danger. Czerny tries to nick inside, his body's forward, and if Motherwell can nick it, if anybody can get up with Tony Watt, you might have a situation like St Mirren the other night. So Rangers have to be careful that although they're going for it and need the 3 points, they just don't lose this game at the same time.
Celtic player tumbles in the box, but the defender got the ball. It was Yang, Hugh, your man. He's lasted.
Still on.
He's playing brilliant. Yeah, I've got texts coming in. What a game.
Actually did really well with the initial run. He beats a couple, and I think it's Raymond recovers quite well in the end. Motherwell with that free kick into the box, headed over the bar. Not it was from quite far out. Always difficult to get the purchase on a header from there.
A better line from Rangers, higher up the pitch, kept together, makes it difficult for the attacking team.
We got a winner here. We must have a winner at Fir Park.
You said he would put his house on it.
Yeah.
Oh no. You'll need to start living in the caravan here.
Packing up the boxes as we speak.
Yeah, of course.
He might not be wrong, to be fair, because there is a long way to go in this.
I think we'll get something. I think we'll get a goal. I don't know which way.
At Fir Park?
Yep.
So we've reached the 90 at Easter Road. 5 minutes added there, and I would bet you there's not been anywhere near the same amount of stoppages as we've had here at Fir Park, and we're still got 2 minutes of the 90 to go. So I'd say strap yourselves in for another 10 from now anyway.
10?
Well, from now.
Oh, from now, right, okay, you've got 2 there.
Just feels like it's been so stop-start. Motherwell have a throw-in down by the corner flag.
If your Motherwell put it right in, right in top of Butland.
Can you bring Kofi Balmer on just for this? Is that allowed?
Is Casey not got a long throw?
Casey's got a long one, is he not?
Not like Kofi Balmer, he doesn't. Kofi Balmer could chuck it out your flat window and into the box at Fir Park.
Could he? Is that
outrageous? Liam Gordon's
my windows aren't opening too wide now, so
are they not just on the latch?
On the latch, yeah.
You'd struggle to squeeze it through.
That windy.
I'm going to try. There's also not a lot of room to run up at Fir Park, especially when the TV put their advertising boards in. It's not bad.
It's not bad.
I don't know why he tried to bring it down in the box.
Oh, what an opportunity.
Crowded out. Motherwell a good chance. Could have probably taken it first time.
He's got to take it first time, Gordon. What is he? Penalty spot right about there on the volley. It's a difficult one, but just hit it.
8 added in Dingwall, but I think Hearts have seen that one out, you would imagine.
Oh, hit there.
Does he need the touch to get away from Cherney, though, to be fair?
To be fair, I think he takes not a bad touch.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's taking not a bad touch, but
Diomande off, Barami on for Rangers, just to, don't really know, just to maybe try and get them up the pitch a bit in the closing stages, or score that winner. That would be the obvious difference between the two. More attacking player. They have to defend first because Motherwell going to throw it in again, and you're right, it's not a bad throw. Not Kofi Balmer again, but not bad from, I think it was Dan Casey. But this is the problem for Motherwell. Rangers are moving across the halfway line. You would have to take the foul, and Motherwell do. I think Tom Sparrow knows fine well he's going into the book, and he is fine with it.
Great foul.
Yeah, because Rangers had men on the other side breaking.
It might have been, was it Davor or Tom Sparrow? Certainly one of them who came across and just held up. Yeah, Tom Sparrow just getting a hold of Egaman as you would. 10 added at Fir Park. 10 more minutes from here.
Motherwell players, and they'll be happy with that. It's just mentally exhausting sometimes when you see something like that.
I'm feeling a bit tired about this.
And you know the ball's going to be in your box more often than not in these 10 minutes.
It's incredible. 10 minutes added at Fir Park. We'll have all the other full-time reports from the other grounds in that time. I hope the guys know we'll need to interrupt them if we get a late winner at Fir Park. I'm sure they do. Celtic not quite done yet.
To be fair, they've not really tested the goalkeeper in the last 20 minutes type thing. They look like when they got back to 2 each, be a case of they'll go on and get the third
full time, Celtic Park. Let's speak to Gabriel.
Celtic 4, St Johnstone 0. A perfect afternoon for Brendan Rodgers' team. Goals from Nicholas Kuhn, 2 from Kyogo, and another one from substitute Dazen Maeda, giving the team the perfect preparation for next week's Old Firm. And Celtic were on top early on, camped in the St Johnstone half. The resistance was broken after half an hour. Nicholas Kuhn got the ball. Reo Hatate unlocked the defence with a great pass. The German took his time, came in, cut in on his left foot, signature move, and swept it past Josh Ray for his 14th goal of the season. It took a great save from Ray just a few minutes later to stop it being 2 before the half, after another beautiful curling effort from Kuhn. But Celtic didn't take their foot off the gas after the interval. Kyogo headed in his first after Ray made a good save from inside his 6-yard box, and the Japanese forward had his second just a few minutes later with a tidy volley after a wicked ball in from Arne Engels. Maeda got the final goal in the 73rd minute, slipped through by Bernardo, who had been excellent at the base of midfield all game, and Maeda just tucked it away with his left foot. It could have been more, some last-ditch defending from the visitors, stopping it being even worse. St Johnstone, though, they're in serious trouble, Gordon. They're rock bottom, lost 8 of their last 10, where Celtic are at the other end of the table, exactly where they want to be. They end 2024 having lost only 2 matches in the entire year. They look set to extend their lead at the top today and could have one hand on the trophy after the Old Firm next week. Full time here. Celtic 4, St Johnstone 0.
Routine for Celtic. They stretch the lead as things stand. What can Rangers do? Shane Blaney took a kind of stud down the back of the heel there in the box. Nothing doing in the end.
You certainly seen it, that it was Yilmaz, I think. Don't know if he knew much about it, but he definitely
more
takes
accidental,
the heel. Studs right down the heel, but play on, and Rangers in possession now.
Yep. Hugh, it's hard to take your eyes off Fir Park, but it is finished at Celtic doing probably exactly how everyone thought that one would go today.
Yeah. As I say, 4 goals. First time on Thursday, 4 goals again today. They're in fine shape for going to Ibrox. They would have no concerns. Even if Rangers do get a third goal, I don't think that Celtic would be in any way concerned going there with a 12-point lead.
Right, it is very hard to take the eyes off Fir Park because there's still 7 of the 10 to go and it's poised at 2-2. The guys know we'll interrupt them if anything does happen. Let's just stay with this attack. Right, throw in Rangers. Let's try and go full time with David Friel.
St Mirren 1, Dundee 2. Gordon Simon Murray to double to seal a massive win for Dundee in the road. Tony Dockett's defensive crisis deepened. Jordan McGee and Billy Cometio limped off in the first half, but he dug deep to end a 3-game losing run against all the odds. St Mirren just weren't at it after the Boxing Day win over Rangers, and Simon Murray grabbed a header in each half to win it. Dundee came alive after a slow start, took the lead through Murray in 29. Josh Mulligan with the cross, Murray's bullet header flew past Balcombe. St Mirren were shocked but did level in 40 minutes. Bomono cross on the right, Olasanya with a great cross and diving header. Both sides had chances early in the second half, but it was Dundee who grabbed the second in 66 minutes. Deep free kick found Ryan Astley at the back post. He helped it across for Murray, who headed in off the underside of the bar. St Mirren threw everything to Dundee. They chased an equaliser, but they couldn't get it. Full time, St Mirren 1, Dundee 2.
It's also finished at Easter Road. You've not missed much from Fir Park. Motherwell tried to break up the pitch there and couldn't. 94 and a half gone, so still 5.5 minutes left. Here's Fraser Wishart from Easter Road.
Yeah, finished here. Hibernian 1, Kilmarnock 0. The referee getting booed here because it was another red card in the second half for Kilmarnock when Dan Armstrong picked up 2 yellow cards. But a great end to 2024 for Hibs. They just about deserved their win. Good first half performance and a first half header by Nectar Triantis. The difference, they deservedly headed the break with that Triantis goal. Nicky Carden with the in-swinging corner was really pace on the ball, difficult to defend, and Triantis run to the front post, easy header from 4 yards out. Nicky Carden went close. And Hoylett should have scored at the back post from a Boyle cross. But in the second half, it was Kelly that started in the front foot. Dees touched, let himself down when he was in the box, but they still weren't testing Jordan Smith in goals enough, and it was actually Hibs that came close to a second. Lewis Miller struck the ball from 20 yards really well, parried by McCrory to his left, but then came that huge blow for Kilmarnock. Dan Armstrong already on a yellow card for a tackle on Nicky Cadden. I felt he had to go for the ball. Fraser Murray running shot was parried by Smith in the 6 yard box. As I heard they wanted to clear it, I thought Armstrong had to go for it. Yes, he might have caught him, but was it a second yellow? I don't think so, but another red card given after 63 minutes. Even with a man advantage, Hibs weren't able to get a grip on the game. The tempo of their game dropped. They weren't really seen as an attacking force, and all in all, it was a pretty scrappy second half from both sides, but a huge roar from the Hibs fans. 19,265 here. Hibs not at their best, but they now sit within touching distance of the top 6. I think Derek McInnes will do another red card, as I mentioned, and also that when they did get into good areas throughout the 90 minutes, they didn't create any real chances in front of the Hibs goal. Full time at Easter Road, Hibernian 1, Kilmarnock 0.
And it's still Motherwell 2, Rangers 2, 96 minutes gone. Rangers with the ball down in the corner, throw in. Goal for Ross County. So they've scored late on. They're at home to Hearts in Dingwall. They were 2-0 up Hearts, weren't they? So I think that doesn't change too much. I won't go for
2 James Wilson goals.
We won't dwell on that too much longer for now. Again, Rangers are making it nervous, Gordon, in terms of sort of possession. Not had many chances, but one just set up for Danilo that he blazed over the bar. Should he have done better?
I think he should have. I think he'll look back in that and think that was a great opportunity. It was a bad header from Motherwell. I think it was Nicholson. Tries to clear it with his head. Falls to Danilo. Great opportunity and misses.
With M&D Green Pharmacy.
Ross County have equalised. They were 2-0 down with moments remaining. They have scored the quickest of quick-fire doubles, and it is Hearts 2, Ross County 2. Remarkable. What a finish.
Well, that is incredible.
A mistake from Craig Gordon.
That is incredible, because it looked like Hearts were home and hosed. They've had a goal chalked off. They've had the penalty looked at that didn't get given. They concede and you still think they're okay. Ross County have got form for doing that, scoring a couple in quick succession in Dingwall. That is a disaster for Neil Critchley.
That will be a sore one if you're involved in Hearts. You've got the game comfortably won.
We tangle between Tony Watt and Václav Černý. Tony Watt tried to pull him back. Černý got away, so Tony Watt tried to go again. He's now alleging that he was elbowed. It's all getting a bit tasty.
Yep.
Černý not happy. Tony not happy.
Yeah, Černý raging. Tony Watt apologising now, but he wasn't too apologetic a minute or two ago. That's a remarkable finish in Dingwall. Will we get something similarly? Vara's going to have a look at this. So Tony Watt does pull him back for sure, then goes to go again. Does Černý raise an arm? That's a bit far off for us to see.
Yeah.
You know, I must be honest, I can't really see.
No,
because the camera angle's so far away.
The television pictures are not conclusive. Kevin Clancy's looking for some assistance.
Did you see the Brighton one the other night?
Yeah.
Where the boy swings an elbow.
He's pulling somebody
and he misses him. It is incredible.
And if he had caught him in the face, it would have been a jail sentence.
You wonder.
Černý and Watt both booked for this carry on. It would be lovely to see that closer up, because that was so far away, that view that we got of it. But I don't know if
this game will finish about 5:15.
I'm assuming they've been told to play on.
So why has Černý been booked? Because
they both were just so aggressive.
Do you know something? I think that's sensible refereeing. I wish we could get more of it. Yeah, there was a coming together. 2 players, fine. I just think that I like that. I think that's sensible refereeing for me.
Full time Right, free kick. Hold on, Rangers on the attack here, so we better stick with this. They do have an opportunity. It's in the box. Oxborough has got it in his hands. Right, let's quickly. Dave Galloway, full time.
Yeah, Ross County 2, Hearts 2. Perfect start for Hearts. Swept into second minute lead. A fine through ball by Boyce sent Wilson charging through. The youngster netted with a composed finish. 3 minutes into the second half, Hearts doubled their advantage as Wilson struck again, heading in a superb Penrice cross. The game looked to be kind of fizzling out into a 2-0 Hearts win, but then in the 97th minute they got one back. Did the home side a tap in for them, and then it was Nisbet actually. He tapped it, and then sensationally there was still time for White to score from point blank range. It was a bit of a comedy of errors. Ball into the box. Gordon fumbled it. White said thank you very much, got a toe to it, got it over the line. What a sensational scoreline. Won a game as well. Ross County 2, Hearts 2.
Not finished yet at Fir Park. We've passed the 100 minutes, but that flashpoint between Cherney and Tony Watt was within the 10 minutes, so you're expecting a little bit of tax added on, but not too much. Let's see if Rangers can make this attack count. Motherwell had one up the other end, Sam Nicholson, but he crossed the ball and it went into the hands of the goalkeeper. Motherwell have hacked this clearance and sliced it, and it might be a corner. Motherwell keeping it in for now, and the referee will be in the very closing stages, but Rangers are in the box here, booted away. It's going to be a throw in Rangers, which I think they will get to take, but then after that there can't be too much longer left. This is remarkable.
Look at Casey there sprinting out, trying to get his team up the pitch.
3 minutes past 5 on a Saturday evening, and we
Sunday.
are not done. Sunday evening, you know what I mean. And we're not done yet. Throw in Motherwell.
That surely will be that.
101 minutes gone at Fir Park. 101 that was. Somebody's been booked for something, because it's been that kind of day. Sam Nicholson, not entirely sure what for.
I was young when this game started.
Oh no, it's now Monday.
Yeah, Sam Nicholson not too bothered, I don't think. Just shakes his head, gets on with it, whatever he was booked for. Maybe something off the ball or kicking the ball away or something. It wasn't really in the balance of play. 101 and a half minutes. Motherwell clearly trying to run down the clock. They would settle for it. Philippe Clement's looking frustrated. I think is there another booking now? Is that it? It's very unclear exactly what's going on here. I think
it's full time, I think.
Yeah, full time. Andrew McLean.
Motherwell 2, Rangers 2, a drama-filled VAR-heavy event at Fir Park, with Rangers fighting back from 2 goals down to get themselves a draw, but in the end they fall further behind Celtic. 14 points adrift now ahead of Thursday's Old Firm. Cyril Dessers missed a really good chance early on, but Rangers just didn't look as if they were going to be on form today, not creating much at one end. Then a big mix-up at the back. 16 minutes in, Robin Propper attempted to clear with a header. It hit off Apostolos Stamatolopoulos. It dropped for Maswanise. He lobbed it over the Rangers defence. There was Stamatolopoulos, who somehow got there ahead of Propper and Sterling. Jack Butland thought about coming for it, didn't. He hesitated, and the ball was slotted under him for 1-0. Danilo then headed wide. A decent chance that one before Motherwell got their second. A ball in from the right fell to Maswanise. A wonderful touch and turn inside, and a finish nestled in the bottom corner. Rangers really needed to change something at the break. Igaman and Cherney came on, and it was Igaman who started that comeback. Danilo hitting the post, Igaman smashing the ball in for the rebound. 2-1 at that point, and then 3 huge big VAR calls. Kevin Clancy sent to the screen to review a booking. He gave Lennon Miller for a challenge on Oscar Cortez. He decided to stick with a yellow rather than upgrade that to a red card just before the hour mark. Jack Butland punched a corner into his own net. He was under pressure from Tony Watt. There didn't look to be too much in it at all. Kevin Clancy disallowed it, and VAR backed up that call, and the Motherwell supporters in this stadium absolutely furious about that decision. Then another Butland disaster. He watched as the ball was headed off his bar by Dan Casey. He then made a great save on the rebound, but Tony Watt slotted away at the third time of asking. The flag stayed down. Motherwell fans celebrated, but VAR showing that Dan Casey was offside from the initial ball in. Then Rangers managed to level just over 20 minutes to go. Igaman cutting in from the left, curling the ball into the far bottom corner. A really nice finish, prompting wild scenes in that away end. Both Both teams had openings in the final stages, and the game went on past the 100-minute mark. So much VAR drama, the goals, the substitutions, but neither team able to get the winner. Václav Černý, having one cleared off the line, was the biggest opportunity. There is frustration from the Rangers fans in the stand, but I think it would be a lot more if they'd gone 2-0 up and then dropped the points from there. The fact they've managed to fight back shown a bit to these Rangers supporters, but it's definitely still not enough for Philippe Clement, for his players and the travelling support. The full-time score in a pretty crazy game at Fir Park. Motherwell 2, Rangers 2.
The phone lines are lighting up already. Rangers fans, where does this leave you? Yes, it was a much better second half, and yes, you get a point in the end. Is that enough? Where does it leave you ahead of the game with Celtic? And where does it leave Philippe Clement? 01419511025. Call us right now, we'll speak next.
This is Clyde One Super Scoreboard. Every night from 6 till 8. The fastest goals, the experts' opinions. This is Clyde One Super Scoreboard.
What a day in the Scottish Premiership. Rangers draw 2-2 at Fir Park, which means Celtic stretch the lead at the top. A 4-0 win at home to St Johnstone. A big win for Dundee at St Mirren. Hibs beat Kilmarnock at home, and an incredible late finish where Ross County rescue a point against Hearts in Dingwall. What a day, Hugh.
Well, first of all, more damage done to Philippe Clement. What was 12 points is now 14 points before the halfway stage in the season. And if Celtic go to Ibrox on January 2nd and win 17 points, there goes the league. There can be no debate, but the league's gone anyway. No one could be fooled. Not even the Rangers fans can be fooled by coming back from 2 down to draw 2-2 at Rugby Park, at Fir Park. It was another shabby performance and a genuine concern over the goalkeeper Jack Butland, who has gone from reliable to unreliable, and Philippe Clement, I think, has a job in his hands to consider whether or not to start Jack Butland against Celtic.
Right, Rangers fans, what did you make of that today? Because it was an action-packed game in itself, which had lots of talking points, and we can get through them. But ultimately that league table is looking even worse again than it was previously. That's gone to Paisley, lost, gone to Motherwell, drew. So 1 point out the last 2 games, while Celtic have had the home fixture that they've dealt with quite comfortably. Matt, as a Rangers fan, how are you feeling after that today, Matt?
I'm actually shocked and worried about the team selection with Philippe Clement. What they say about this sports science. When I played football, the only science I had was all deady with his bucket of cold water, a sponge and a Algec spray. Why is the manager saying that players are tired? I worked in a building site, 12-hour shifts, 5 days a week, and still played a Saturday and a Sunday. It's shocking. The team selection today was shocking. Once again, he's listened to this sports science. I mean, I'm 63 and played football years ago, but football players are getting it too easy nowadays. They can't play 2 games, 3 games a week. Or you go to training every day or every second day, go and play golf, and you can't play a football game. I'm mad at them all.
I can hear that, Matt. Where does this, I mean, Hugh, we did say before the game, all this rotation, just wait to the end of the day, because if it works then fine, but if it doesn't, I mean, Iggyman doesn't start the game, he has to come on, score 2 to get the point. So you can understand Matt's frustration. Černý has to come on.
It's been a recurring theme of Philippe Clement's managerial time at Ibrox, the question marks over his selection. He's got a big job ahead of him to pick the right team to play Celtic, because Celtic are 14 points clear. Brendan Rodgers knows that the league will be won if he wins at Ibrox. As I say, it's won already, but this is really the cherry on top of the icing, on top of the cake. And Celtic, 8 goals in their last 2 games, conceded none. I think travelled to Ibrox thinking, this can be another victory, even though there are no Celtic supporters in the ground. Celtic are just too good for Rangers.
Matt, what about falling further behind and having to play Celtic again, and Philippe Clement? The big picture, the team selection stuff is annoying today, I'm sure, but where does this all leave you?
What it is I've got my oldest boy Matthew, who was laughing at me when I phoned up a couple of weeks ago and saying if Rangers won, beat Celtic at Parkhead, it goes down to Ibrox, it goes down to 6 points. But Roger Hannah says, but they're going to win against St Mirren and Motherwell. And I'm eating humble pie just now because he's trying to phone me now again. But it's a disaster. All I can say for fellow Common is, the party's over, it's time to call it a day. Be a man and walk away.
Serenaded out the door.
Yeah.
You cannot.
I didn't expect a song there.
That is remarkable, but that is it. And I'll never grudge football fans, especially if your season's been bad and then things look up and you get a bit excited. Fine, but that's right. That was the discussion. Oh, by the way, we could beat Celtic and it'll be down to 6 points. It's 14 tonight, so all of a sudden, even beating Celtic takes you to 11 points, in the new year.
It's too far a distance against a quality side like Celtic to make that up, even if you do beat them in the head-to-heads. But Rangers' problems aren't against Celtic, it's against the run-of-the-mill teams. Now, we said in the first half that this looked like a Motherwell against a Kilmarnock or a St Johnstone at home, so it was no real surprise when they went 2-0 up. But the chopping and changing the team has been the problem since the start of the season, and I keep going over old ground with it, and just being in a team that keeps changing, and especially a back four, you get a lack of consistency. Now, if you go back to remember the Champions League qualifiers, Dynamo Kiev, and I think it was Cherny, that was the first time we heard it. Sports science dictates you can't play, and Rangers crash out of that competition, costing them a lot of money. You thought, I wonder if Philippe Clement would maybe then learn his lesson with that, and he hasn't. And I think, who was it that said it before? One of your guys said before, I think I'm constantly mentioning that sports science dictates a lot, doesn't sit well with the Rangers support. But that team today, in a game that he needed to win, was always going to be a risk, and the first 45 minutes proved that, and he has to correct his mistakes.
Take sports science out. I totally agree with you. I'm not disagreeing with you, right? But take sports science out of the equation here. You look at that starting 11 for Rangers. You're playing with Rangers. That's probably 9 guys that can start in your team, no problem. Doyle and Cortez coming back from injury. Everybody liked Cortez when he come in at first, so it's still a strong.
That's not the point, though, is it?
No,
because
you've got your top goal scorer on the pitch.
Yeah, but he's not the first choice striker.
I'm not saying that, but
he's the top scorer because he's played more games than everyone else at the start of the season.
You've got to rotate. If you cannot keep picking the same 11 players,
honestly, I know it's hindsight, but it has to work, because you can get yourself in a situation where you've got the luxury to do it. Right now, see if he'd lost that tonight, right, you could say it cost him his job, right? So he's going to turn around and say, well, I had to rotate. No, you didn't, because if you'd won the game, you'd have kept your job. But if you'd lost the game, you might have lost your job. It gets to a desperate stage, though.
Right, but my argument's quite simple. The guys that you put on the pitch in the first half should be able to do better. Have a look at the goalkeeper.
Fine.
Right, the goalkeeper was probably the worst player on the pitch today, and he was lucky to get away with everything. Rangers fans have been on here crying for him to be the captain of the club.
They're not in a position
to
be able to do it. They're just not. They're not in a position where Kieran Dowell and Oscar Cortez can start games, clearly.
Right, but what I'm saying then, if you're going to do all that, why not leave the goalkeeper out? Because the goalkeeper's having
different, though, isn't it?
He's having a nightmare, right?
But that's just an entirely separate issue.
My point is quite simple for me.
Do you think he's vindicated in that team selection?
No, but what I'm saying is, he's putting players out there that should capably be able to do better, and they're not. It's as simple as that.
But again, to kind of agree with you, Gordon, Cortez, I said I like Cortez when he came in. Dowell's obviously a good player, but when you've got guys that haven't played at a competitive level for so long, and you're throwing them into a game to save your life, what do you expect? You can't expect. I feel a bit sorry for Cortez because he has been injured, and a lot of emphasis will be on him today, and it's not his fault.
Whether it's the starting 11, those who come on, or anything else you care to throw up, Rangers had 101 minutes to get victory at Motherwell. They did reasonably well to get it back to 2-2, but they are 14 points behind Celtic, and no one can be fooled by what took place today. It's another black mark against Philippe Clement, and if Celtic win at Ibrox, and they are more than good enough to do so, he is in trouble.
9 away league games, 4 wins.
Yeah. But I'll go back to that point, right? Everybody talks about, his rotation, he should put his strongest team out. There was one guy missing at Paisley in the starting 11, probably in his strongest team, was Raskin, right? They lost. So, as much as I do agree that try and play if he's got a squad there, he's got to be able to trust that players to go out and play against Motherwell at Fir Park.
No, but then that's like the mindset maybe at like the start of the season. Once you then know where you are, you know that you can't, for whatever reason, whether it's bad recruitment, bad circumstances, you should know that when you are as poor away from home as you are, you can't go and start with that team. You might want to, but you can't, and the evidence has shown it, because they had to bring two of them on and they still only drew the game.
He went with probably nearly, apart from one, his strongest team on Thursday, and said I could have made 9 changes.
Right. And you could say that the one cost him.
Right.
Should have played Raskin.
But so one player has got to make such a difference to that Rangers team.
It can make a difference.
Well, you're kidding yourself on, because I ain't. Raskin ain't
that's settled.
Raskin ain't going to turn round and be the biggest difference from Rangers beating St Mirren or losing to St Mirren.
Well, you're probably the only guy on the planet who thinks that his team selection at the start wasn't an issue today. So
I'm not saying it wasn't an issue.
Nadim's on the other line. What do you make of it all, Nadim?
Hi guys, hope you have a good Christmas. I'm actually furious, after watching that today. I don't go to the away games, but we're talking about, you guys are kind of debating the team selection, and DL, I completely, I know I'm going to give you some of your points, but today you're absolutely crazy if that's your kind of line of thought. You're talking about only one player that wouldn't have played in that team is the strongest 11. It's not. It's two of the worst players on that park, especially in the first half, were Dowell and Cortez. I counted in the first half of the 10-minute spell where Cortez gave the ball away 6 times. 6 times. That's criminal. You've got to play your strongest 11. You've got to play your strongest 11. And he knows that Clement's under pressure. He's maybe 1 or 2 results away from getting the sack. So you play your strongest 11. I think I know you guys Dale's having a go at Butland, and I get that. Compared to last season, he's nowhere near the levels that he was last season. I totally get that. But when he plays well, he's the best goalkeeper. So I would absolutely keep faith with Butland. But for me, Clement's got to take all the responsibility. It's got to be on Clement's shoulders tonight, because that team selection was horrific. Cortez, he's not kicked the ball in months. He puts him in from the start. You've got to get 3 points. Motherwell are a good side. They're sitting high up in the league. They're going to make it tough for you. You need boys that can roll up their sleeves and get stuck in. You've had to bring on Egerman, who's, I know he's not a top goal, Gordon, but he's a striker in form. He's a 22-year-old boy has had to come on and show leadership to the rest of the squad that they haven't got that in them. He's had to come on and score 2 goals for the rest of the team to have any kind of to get a point out of that game tonight. It's a joke, an absolute joke.
Just sorry, Hugh, because we're fast approaching the break. I can hear the emotion and the and the anger. Just want to know where you think this leaves everybody tonight, Nadim, manager in particular, and then the league table.
Well, Gordon, you probably remember I phoned up quite a few weeks ago and I wanted Clement out, and then I only phoned up maybe 2-3 weeks ago and I said that I was eating a bit of humble pie because he had done really well over the last kind of 8 weeks or so, and got back in a position where I thought we could maybe not win the league, but we could do something. But I'm at a stage now where you're going game to game. Like Celtic can go 3 or 4 games and get good results. We're thinking game to game. Are we going to, today, for example, this morning I wasn't sure if we're going to win the game today or not, and clearly we've not. So for me, he's, like I said, he's 1 or 2 games away from getting the sack. And for me, if he loses against Celtic on the second, which is a high probability now, I think he's got to go. Absolutely.
We'll see what happens. Thank you to Nadimo 1419511025. Get your calls in. We'll speak to you next.
This is Clyde One Super Scoreboard. Every night from 6 till 8. Scottish football's league leader. This is Clyde One Super Scoreboard.
Hugh Keevins, Gordon Dalziel and Mark Wilson looking back on today's football with you. So what about Albi in Rutherglen? How are you feeling as a Rangers fan tonight, Albi?
Wow, man, where do you start?
Whatever you like.
Shocking performance, first half out, really just lost for words, you know what I mean? The team selection, the changes, absolutely shocking. No, I wasn't at the game, I watched it on TV, and it's hard to begin where to start. Do you know what I mean? It's just, Clement's he's lost the dressing room. The players have lost trust in the manager. Where do we go? Oh, we're just getting so bad. The defeat against St Mirren. I think everybody thinks the same way. It's soul destroying for me as a fan. It really is.
At this stage, Albi, what do you do? Because you've got a big game that's just around the corner. You've got a transfer window that's going to open. What would your...
To be fair, Gordon, there's no money there for Rangers to spend. I mean, we all know that. I mean, we know Rangers are in dire straits and have been for a number of years now. The game on Thursday against Celtic, wow, man, I was just going to hide behind the sofa. To be fair.
A few ways of looking at that, Hugh. You've got, yes, the possibility that Celtic go there and win, and that the Rangers fans won't look forward to it. What might even be more concerning for Rangers fans, even if they dig out a win from somewhere, they would be 11 points behind. The situation today is so bad that a win, an unlikely looking win against Celtic, takes you to within 11.
After losing to St Mirren and doing what they did for 101 minutes at Fir Park today and dropping another 2 points, I think it would be a surprise if Celtic didn't win at Ibrox. I think they're so far in front of Rangers. There are so many question marks about Rangers' goalkeeper, about the central defensive pairing of Dujon Sterling and Robin Proper. And on the other hand, you have free scoring Celtic, 8 goals in their last 2 games, a goal difference that's better than something like 28 over Rangers. I think it'd be a surprise if Celtic didn't win at Ibrox. And then you arrive at the situation whereby you'll be told privately that Rangers can't afford to sack Philippe Clement because they extended his contract and he's too expensive to sack. So the Rangers supporters with fully half a season to go will understand that Celtic have won the title and they're still having to watch that team for half a season.
Albie was particularly annoyed at the first half performance, Gordon. How bad was it?
Well, it was bad enough that we said in here, and I said first and foremost that I'd make 3 substitutions right away. The Rangers manager made 2. Give him a wee bit credit. Got them back in the game, got the early goal, got back to 2-2. You're thinking, oh, Motherwell under pressure there. But then after that, they seem to just run out of ideas. I think just now, you get into this festive period, I think everybody just dismissed St Mirren and Motherwell and thought, right, we'll look forward to 2nd of January, we'll close that gap. If we beat Celtic, we're on a high, we're feeling good. Rangers fans have been brought right back down to earth tonight. There's no doubt. The manager, once again, back under pressure. It's like a yo-yo with this manager. 1 week, Rangers fans come on saying, look, maybe got it wrong, maybe stick with him. Then the following week, get rid of him, get him out of the club. We have to get somebody else in. They're in a bad way, Rangers.
When he won his 4 league games in a row, and everyone thought, things are turning here. He beat St Johnstone, Kilmarnock, Ross County and Dundee, all in the bottom 6. That's who he beat. And for me, he looks bewildered, bemused, whatever. And I repeat, I think it would be a surprise if Celtic didn't win at Ibrox.
The problem I've got, Hugh, and I'm trying to explain this about between Thursday and today about team selection. They've got players that ain't good enough to take you to the next level. It's as simple and straightforward as that. And then if you add on to that, you look at one of their outstanding players and signings, and Jack Butland. He just looked shell-shocked today. I've never seen him so bad for a long while. No confidence whatsoever. Look, they could get into this game on Thursday and they could win it. We never know what's going to happen in football. You look at the cup final, 2 weeks prior to the cup final, nobody gave them a chance. They competed very well in it, but they're in a bad place, Rangers, just now.
Albie, how much of this is down to players and much of it's down to the manager?
Well, for me, Gordon, I mean, I agree with everything that Hugh says, and I listen to the show. I'm a first time caller, and I don't always agree with Hugh, but fair play. But Gordon, I think you're wrong, mate. I mean, individual players, Jack Butland, I actually believe that Jack Butland can't get a game down south for a team on a regular basis because he's shown that here. The mistakes he's making, frightening. Gordon said it himself a second ago. Do you know what I mean? He's absolutely lost. Doesn't know what's going on. Oh, James Tavernier's done. I mean, I'll be honest with you, I was never a fan of Tavernier even when he signed back in the day with Mark Warburton. And yes, his numbers are good, his goals are great, but it's now time to move on or time to hang up your boots. We're making silly mistakes too often. The players we've got can't cope. Dessers, wow, just people have been saying it for long enough. Do you know what I mean? He's not good enough. He's not Rangers standard. Very, very few players could probably get pass marks. I mean, I watched the programme on Sky and I was listening to some of the comments and they're going on about sports science and the changes that Clement made with regards to 7 today and saying that players were tired and they needed to be rested, but he brought 2 of them on at half time. Fair play, we got a couple of goals, but it's just not enough. It's not Rangers standard. We should be up there fighting for that title, and Celtic will destroy us on Thursday at Ibrox, absolutely destroy us. And for me as a fan, wow, it's just heartbreaking.
Let's thank Albie for his thoughts and bring in Gary, who's on the other line. Gary, your take on that today?
It's totally Clement's fault, in my opinion, and it's not just down to his selection. It's the players he's playing in certain positions. He's playing players out of position all the time. Like you see Dill, I seen Dill there, right, he's going to show that the midfield in beside Raskin. No, sticks him out right mid. He's never a right midfielder. And the guy who was blaming Tabby all alone, it's no Tab's fault because he's never played with Dill in the right. Dill isn't a right midfielder. It's all the time. You've got Bijami sitting in the bench. He's a national number 10. I've never seen him playing as a number 10 since he signed for Rangers. All right, Hagi came in, he's done really well. But to play Daniel in as a 10 when Bijami's sitting on the bench, you've got... Honestly, I'm dumbfounded. It's constant, it's every week. Even when we're playing well, he's always playing players out of position, and that's going to be this guy's downfall.
Did you get your hopes up a couple of weeks ago, Gary?
Of course I did. Everybody did. You know what's wrong with this team? They give you optimism and hope and take it away the following week. This is this team for years upon years, and I love them. I love my team to bits, but it's constant. They give you hope one week and take it away the following week. And with this manager, I believe it's this manager, because he just switches and changes all the time. You see that first 11, right, and you think they're going to, right, this is the way we're going to play. Within 10 minutes, like, what's this guy doing? Baffling. Absolutely baffling.
Well, the fans like Gary are entitled to be baffled, but this is as plain as the nose in your face. Celtic have a very strong squad, built on the fact that they are cash rich and built on good signings. Rangers are financially hard up, and the signings that they've brought in are unconvincing. Robin Proper being an outstanding example, the goalkeeper's turning into an example. Igamani is the one shining light at the moment. They would have to start against Celtic with him playing, but I just don't think, and remember you have 50,000 of the Rangers fans there on Thursday and no Celtic fans, and they will be demanding of the Rangers team that they get the first victory for Clement against their biggest rivals. But their biggest rivals have far better players and a greater sense of organisation than they do.
Is that not the real issue though, Mark? That I think even if Rangers fans were being really honest with themselves, this is not even really about keeping up with Celtic. Like, I know you're meant to, and we do all this bravado about second in Glasgow is nowhere and stuff, and I get that, but I don't think anyone realistically expects Rangers to go and wipe the floor with Celtic. But can you be the best version of yourself? Can they afford the same amount of players as Celtic? No, but they spent good money on Yilmaz. They've spent they'll pay good wages to Jack Butland. They've spent good. They've got an obligation to buy on Oscar Cortez. He's going to cost them some money in the summer. Barami cost good money. Robin Proper is signed as an experienced player who's been in the Eredivisie. So are they the best version of themselves before they even worry about where Celtic are?
Well, it's funny you mention it. I'm thinking, I'm looking at the team, and as we've heard all the other callers, and I'm thinking that, of course, some of the blame lies with the players because of performance levels, but ultimately the buck stops with the manager. And out of all those players that you mentioned and the players on the pitch today, which of those has been made better since coming to the club? Because of course they're not going to be the finished article, any of these players, but as a group and as individuals, you can improve them. Maybe a Gamani, he's still a young player and he looks like he's got something. He gets people off their seats, he scores goals like he did today, but the rest of them seem to have regressed. And I'll put Jack Butland in that. He came to the club and he looked a real find. He was outstanding. Now he's regressed so much. So who does blame lie with then? And unfortunately, we've been in management before, and it's a ruthless game. It comes on your doorstep, it falls on you. And today just highlighted that. It almost looked like Philippe Clement doesn't know what his best way out of this is in negotiating through this period by picking let's be honest, random. Dowell's a random choice. Cortez a random choice. And I'm not even saying this in hindsight. I said it when the teams were read out that we didn't know what Dowell was. Cortez, we were surprised at. You know, is it going to get any better for Rangers fans? I don't think it is. I can't see a time come before May that the Rangers fans come on here and say things are so much brighter and they're quite confident that things are moving in the right direction
right
after
now,
summer.
Right now, Mark, before a ball is kicked at Ibrox, Celtic have won the league. They're 14 points clear. They would be required to lose 4 league games in order to be even in with a chance of dropping the title. And that would be working on the assumption that Rangers won everywhere. So right now I would say the league's over, Celtic have won it, and we're 1 game short of the halfway stage. That's how far behind the Rangers are, and that has to be addressed. But I'm not convinced, not at all convinced, that they have the man in place and the head of recruitment in place who can bring about a transformation.
I don't think that's a concern of Rangers fans, Hugh. I don't think Rangers fans think for 1 minute they were going to win the league, right? I think what the problem with the Rangers just now is this yo-yo effect. You look at them against Tottenham Hotspur, then they play 3 days later against Celtic in the cup final. Rangers fans, although they lost it, a lot of them went home happy, think we competed, we're unlucky, talking about the penalty kick, everything like that. And then they get into the festive season and they're right back to square one. You know, 1 point out of 6, and they've got Celtic on Thursday.
How much of a concern, Gary, is the away form in particular when you look at 9 played in the league and only 4 won?
Well, I'm 43-year-old and I've never experienced an away form like this. Ever. Can I just come back in a couple of points? Hugh says that Celtic are well ahead of us. Right, on paper they are, but you've picked 16 of the best Rangers players and 16 of the best Celtic players. There's no that much between us. If you can get them fit and get them on the park, there's no that much between us. And finally, Jack Butland. Jack Butland shouldn't be playing over the festive period. He just had a newborn. Bring in the boy from Motherwell, who signed for Motherwell. He's played, he's done well. Why do you not just let him go and enjoy his week with his family, then bring him back in? Why does he bring him back in and play him these games?
Well, Mark, you may be able to shine a light, having done it most recently. It's not really the done thing, is it? Players don't miss multiple games for the birth of a child.
I can understand the birth.
Maybe they should.
Yeah, I can understand the birth. But particular goalkeeper Butland was a real leader at one point for Rangers, an important player. He's made mistake after mistake, so I don't think he was ever going to miss a period through the birth of his kid. However, the argument's now there that Hugh said earlier: should he play on his performance levels in this upcoming game? Is it worthwhile giving Liam Kelly a shout because he's making too many mistakes, and he got away with that one today, no doubt in my mind.
Thank you very much to Gary and Albie before him. It's not only the Motherwell Rangers game that took place today, even though it's taking over the phone lines. If you want to talk about something else, you can. This is what Brendan Rodgers had to say after the 4-0 win against St Johnstone.
Last season was one of the best coaching seasons of my life, of my career, in terms of coming in and what I was coming into. This season it's just been a joy to work with the players and seeing them evolve and develop and how I want them to work. And so it's. But I think over the course of the year, I think I've seen some statistics yesterday. People were trying to show me, and from that aspect, it's mentally impressive. So, but we still got to sustain it, and we still want to keep working and play to the level that we want to on a consistent basis.
Good time to call. We'll get you on next.
This is Clyde One Super Scoreboard. Action as it happens, and your reaction from 5 on the open line. This is Clyde One Super Scoreboard.
Into the final part of tonight's Clyde One Super Scoreboard. Hugh Keevins, Mark Wilson, Gordon Dalziel are here. We actually have another game on right now. Dundee United 0, Aberdeen 0. However, there's been a penalty awarded to Dundee United for a handball against Nicky Devlin, and is his hands not tucked into the body? I know you all claimed it initially when it first happened. It's a shot by Trapanovsky. His hands are tucked right in front of his body.
Yeah, I think they'll have a look at this again. Devlin, to be fair to him, got up right away and said, my arms are right in front. He's telling John Beaton that at the minute.
I've got to say, Beaton had a great view of it, and he didn't hesitate and point to spot.
On that though, as we said, we're now told that if the arm isn't outstretched and so on, like we saw Stamatopoulos with the goal earlier, it hits his hand but it's in front of his body. That old argument that if your hands aren't there, where's that ball going to hit? It's just going to hit Nicky Devlin in the chest.
His chest. So I'll be surprised if this is.
No, I think it stands.
Is it stands? Is it?
Well, it looks like they're getting ready to take the penalty now.
Yeah, this is the.
Still claiming his innocence.
I think he's right, Devlin. I don't know, as a defender, if you go out to charge and your hands are curled up in front of your chest and it hits your hands, what else are you supposed to do here? But if you go wide though and it hits your arm, then it's a penalty. Yeah, so I don't know what he's expected them to do, but great. I mean, hope Dundee United get the penalty, but
of course you do. Let's bring in Stevie, who's on the line. Hi, Stevie.
Hi, lads. How you doing? Merry Christmas to you.
Same to you, Stevie. What are you thinking tonight?
Well, my point of view is today's game, right? Rangers, Motherwell Rangers. Now, the first incident, this VAR is becoming a right joke. Okay, maybe against my team now, but there was a thing last season. Well, there used to be a penalty to Rangers, and it's still there.
Yeah. Sorry, on you go.
Oh, yeah, still there, right. So, the instant today when the ball strikes the Motherwell defender's arm, nothing given. Not even a consultation with VAR.
Which one, sorry, when the Motherwell goal?
The one in the first half. No, the one in the first half, when Rangers...
Oh, Ewan Wilson? No. Remember, Stevie's hand's by his side at that point and it comes down off the top of his arm. That's what we're just talking about with Dundee United Aberdeen. The arm needs to be outstretched for it to be a penalty.
I'm talking about the Rangers Motherwell game.
Yep, me too. I know, but I'm just likening it to the incident.
The ball comes off the Motherwell player's arm.
Yeah, no, but Ewan Wilson, is that the one you're talking about in the first half? But his arm's completely by his side, isn't it?
No, his arm, it strikes his arm.
I think Stevie's talking about Robin Proper heads the ball.
No, Stevie's talking about... Stevie, you're talking about a penalty you think Rangers should have got?
Oh, it should have been a penalty kick, aye.
But Stevie, you just keep kind of saying no. Ewan Wilson's arm was... I know sometimes there's a debate, but it was definitely by his side, wasn't it?
No.
So do you think his arm was outstretched on that one?
The game I was watching, and then the goal that Motherwell scored.
Yeah.
I mean, it's headed against the guy's arm.
Yes, but again, it's the same argument, Stevie. We need to remind ourselves, with no offence, what the rule is, not just what you think it should be. By the way, Stamatopoulos, Motherwell, you could say they get lucky, but his hand's in front of his body, so it's not an unnatural position. It just hits him, and because he plays a 1-2 with another player, that's the goal's not going to be ruled out for that.
Listen, there's a lot of conscientious decisions this season, especially, I would say, against Rangers.
I can't help but think Stevie's ignoring what I'm saying, which is fine, because
Stevie's trying to make a point.
Lots of people do, but
Rangers are victimised in Stevie's eyes, and it all stems from the cup final, the non-award, Liam Scales, Tierney.
That's fine, but once we start describing things that simply didn't happen, i.e. Ewan Wilson, the Ewan Wilson one is not a penalty under this handball rule, the previous handball rule, any handball rule. He's got his hand by his side, it comes down, and by the way, it might even hit the top of his...
Stevie is ignoring the game entirely, and he's trying to clutch any straws that he can find, and his core point is that Rangers were robbed. Now, there are Rangers fans who are at Fir Park, and you won't find one of them who would agree with him, and it's been another bad day for Philippe Clement, and the situation is worsening for the manager by the day.
There is a lot more of a debate to be had, to be fair to Stevie, Mark, about the Motherwell goal, because it does clearly hit Stamatopoulos' arm. The thing that saves him in the sense that if he's in the box, as an example, and it hits his arm like that, even though it's an unnatural position, but it falls to himself and he puts it in the back of the net, the goal's ruled out. Doesn't matter because it hits his arm. The thing that saves him is the arm's in a natural position. He passes to a teammate who passes back to him. He then goes and scores. So that is not... It's not going to be automatically ruled out. The only thing that would rule it out is it a handball offence, i.e. is his arm outstretched, is it in an unnatural position? So you can answer whether it was.
Yeah, it's tucked in, and they do get a bit of fortune just the way the ball falls to them. But the big thing about that is that I would be annoyed if I was the Rangers manager, is the reaction of his defenders as well. Proper is claiming for the handball right away before dealing with the issue of the ball still being in place. So how does Stammer get through and go? It's because Proper standing claiming for handball. So for me, Motherwell were fortunate in how the ball fell and how it played out, but Rangers had to deal with that much better than they did.
Could you not say it swings and roundabouts, Stevie, when VAR bails out Jack Butland at the other end?
Well, I really can't remember that one.
That's funny, that, Stevie.
No, let me finish. What I'll just say is...
I'll refresh your memory. The one where he punched it into his own net.
Oh, that was a free kick, obviously.
Thought you might say that.
Yeah. Selective
amnesia. Wait a wee minute, let me finish then. All I'll say is VAR, video against Rangers, that's what I call it. You know what I mean? Simple as that.
Victimisation. But it's people... I don't believe for a minute that Stevie's representative of the majority of Rangers supporters. I don't believe that. The majority of Rangers supporters tonight believe that the league's gone, that their team is vastly inferior to Celtic, and their manager is vastly inferior to the man who manages Celtic, Brendan Rodgers. And they are apprehensive about the game at Ibrox, even though there won't be a single Celtic supporter in the place, because the vast majority believe Celtic are a better team.
Should Lennon Miller have been sent off?
Not for me. I said at the time, I know there's a who was it? Was it Matondo? He just Cortes. He just clips it. No, I think he goes and wins it, but I don't know what he can do about that, Gordon. I would have been very disappointed if he would get sent off for that.
I'm the same. I think just on the edge, but
orange card.
Orange card, yeah. In this day and age, I'm not surprised that it was being looked at, but as I was trying to make the point at the time, even when I was playing, that's just a mistimed tackle. I think yellow was sufficient.
It kind of rolls over the top. There is the catch. Sometimes when you see the catch on the ankle, though, that's the... Do you think what saved him is he's... there's not really the force there because he's kind of nearby.
I think so. The two of them are kind of running in the same direction, if you know what I mean. With that, it's not a full-on collision. No, I think it was the right decision.
Be good to watch a game like Stevie, though, I have to say.
Yeah.
Just only remember the incidents that might affect your team.
How did we roll 1-6-0 there?
Just miss all the others. Thank you to Stevie on 01419511025. I don't know if we're on track to hear from Philippe Clement or not before the end of the show. It would be nice to.
This is when Philippe Clement has to be careful, because the Rangers fans are embarrassed by his post-match press conferences, and they don't want them, when they're 14 points behind Celtic, they don't want them to say something that they regard as being silly. So he needs to be careful.
I think he needs to avoid some of those talking points, like the handball that they thought they should have had when the Motherwell first goal went in, and other decisions, and rather concentrate on the performance. That's what Rangers fans want to hear, why he picked that team, what he thought he could get at that team, because that is the main talking point this afternoon from a Rangers point of view. The chopping and changing and the poor 45 minutes they served up.
Again, maybe we will hear his press conference interview in the next couple of minutes, but a flavour of what you said on Sky, because again, this debate about listening to sports scientists, because Iggy doesn't look tired because he came on at half time, played half the game, was great in terms of scoring 2 goals. He said if they were injured in the second half, you'd say I was a stupid manager who doesn't listen to his staff. The Rangers fans just don't want to hear that, Hugh.
Yeah, exactly. He's tying himself into verbal knots, and the Rangers supporters see right through it. They can, it's transparent nonsense.
That we make our own downfall 2 games in a row with conceding goals that you cannot concede in that way. Clearly not aggressive enough in those duels, and that's a weird thing. It's different players, individual mistakes in that way, who've been doing well last couple of weeks against really good opponents, showing that, and in these 2 games not, and then you chase the game in that way. What we did, you come back to the 2-2. We didn't manage to score the 3rd goal in that way, but we make it so difficult for ourselves. 2 games in a row with giving away silly, unnecessary goals. Not that you're not, as a team, in good positions, that there's no structure, but just about individual mistakes.
See, the first one, fine. Is the second goal that much of an individual error that you as a manager can hold your hands up and say, well, nothing we can do about that? But what was that wrong with the second goal from an individual error? Am I misremembering it?
I think maybe was it the first header out? Was it from Sterling that kind of dropped?
Enough, but seriously,
but it wasn't that much an error that you go, wow, you still have plenty of time to recover. It was a bit of quality from Maswanise to touch and finish. But again, it's hard stand here to decipher what he's meaning by a lot of that. If I'm honest,
the gist of it is we tactically and structurally are fine. But the players are just making mistakes that you can't legislate for.
There was no structure to their side in the first half today. No structure whatsoever.
And you can't deliver that stuff when you've just taken 1 point from the possible 6 against St Mirren and Motherwell. And I repeat, when you're going on about how fine you were against Kilmarnock, Dundee, Ross County, St Johnstone, the fans don't understand and certainly do not agree with anything he says.
Yeah, I think it's been a bad day. It's been a bad few days for Rangers. I think a lot of fans were hoping they were going to close this gap, and obviously the 2nd of January, Celtic, they just breezed by people. 8 goals, 2 games, clean sheets. They go to Ibrox full of confidence. I said it earlier, Rangers are in a bad way just now.
How would you sum it all up, Hugh?
I would sum it up by saying the league's over now. And a 14-point gap is embarrassing for Rangers. The Rangers fans are not looking forward to Thursday's derby at Ibrox, and Rangers are at a crossroads here. The fans don't want the manager, don't believe in him, and the club have a big decision to make, because for the second half of the season, Celtic will be the champions, they'll be the runners-up. It's a long time to be runner-up, half a season.
It's always overlooked when there's a so-called crisis club, Mark, so maybe a word for the fact that Celtic extended their lead.
Yeah, well, they are in cruise control and in no better form than you'd wish to be in, going to Ibrox, and worrying times for Philip Clement when you've got a team like Celtic knocking on your door next.
Oh, what a day. Big games, big results, big talking points. Scottish football never disappoints. It's not even finished yet, because Dundee United and Aberdeen are playing at the moment, and it is still goalless at Tannadice. We are back tomorrow night from 6 o'clock with Roger Hanna and apparently man of the match inside the stadium. I don't know who picked it, Andy Halliday, but he'll be here tomorrow as well with Roger, so make sure you join us then and enjoy the rest of your evening.
The Clyde One Super Scoreboard Podcast with Lookers Group. Extra 12 months warranty and RAC breakdown cover on every used vehicle. Terms and conditions and exclusions apply.